Like the blue button, guys.
Hmm.
Don't do it, Sean. It's not worth
Oh
it.
no, I'm gonna get. Oh
Cheryl,
no.
leave now. You'll stay alive.
We may, no need, but just know Legend Keeper's there in case you need to hop on to look at the map of Greenest. But as of right now, it's not completely important. But that's just a reminder. And this music kind of swells, so hopefully it's not drowning when we bring it down a little.
A little.
Not there good. Okay. When we left off, our party has traveled to Greenest. They made it, and we, upon their arrival, they had this conversation back and forth between Killjourn and Araka, and then the cultists who came, Cyan, who we now know, this harbinger who works, with the dragon cultists riding this blue dragon, tells them that they want this offering of earth and water of the people. The following day, they actually arrive. You end up talking that evening with Tarlo Nighthill, the governor of the small town. By all means, you've convinced this man that they should not concede with the requests of the cultists. Ravi takes all of the people that are not able to stay back, basically the guards and those who can fight, and send them out, heading towards the Forest of Sharp Teeth, and travels with them all day long as the other party prepares all day for these occupying forces to arrive. Cyan does arrive. There is an exchange between her and Demetrius. She is a pale human woman who's very in this like dark, sleek armor. They commit to a duel for the town itself. Her friends watch, and the fight is very close as Rakalish is able to use his abilities to share those hit points and soak up some of the damage. And eventually both they get so close to beating her, but eventually they both fall unconscious. Dmitriev, more than Raklish, as he collapses from the strain of the powers being used, just caught up in the moment, in the melee, and kind of the bloodlust. Cyan comes down with that overhead strike with one of her blades and drives it into Demetrius. So there is a huge wound when she pulls it out, and so Dimitri is bleeding rapidly with those two auto fails from that attack. And out in the field, with the people starting to be superstitious and allowing fear to get the best of them, they start to call out this child. They see her as a bad omen. This mother's trying to make sure she's this Lennon is the woman's name, and her people are kind of telling you all these conflicting things between the mother and you, Ravi, and you're trying to control these people, never having been in a situation of leadership like this before. And then suddenly rocks are getting thrown, this child gets hit in the head, and before you know it, at least 20 to 30 people's heads light up on fire, and they drop dead. Anybody want to add anything else to that last episode?
Just that we're all stressed out.
There's a random skeleton in the river that now has no controller.
Yes. There is a random
Bahamut has his headphones on, and he's jamming out, helping out Ravi right now.
Yeah, I think that's where we're at.
Killjourn was hiding some stuff from us.
This is true. He didn't tell everything. Okay, fair. That's it. All right. Well, let's. My notes prepared. Take a look here. Ready? All right. These episodes are always tough to start because I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's enjoy the game. It's the tension of the game. A couple things here. Oh, I missed that one. What
Is it don't lose?
Don't lose.
This is an old one. This is a Storm King's Thunder one. It's
I
all
love
faded.
it.
This is a Storm King's
I
Thunder.
love that you keep those.
I'm gonna, when the campaign is over, Malcolm, I'm gonna mount this for you. I'm gonna
like
mount it on mahogany with bronze. And that'll
That'd
be
be
your
awesome.
GM kit.
It'd be awesome. I love all those little keepsakes. I gotta have a full wall eventually. That's the plan, to have a wall full of all the little sketches and stuff and everything people send. So that's, it's always great. And so my music is being shared. Okay, didn't stop that. We are in darkness. Well, it's not really us who are in darkness, but Demetria who is in that darkness. When suddenly a light pierces it, and this strong, disembodied male voice rolls through the light. A twinkle at first that grows a bit brighter from that darkness, soothing and strong. A voice that is familiar, has not heard it in a while, but it says, "My child, how have you served me?" And it is quiet as there's a moment for Demetria to respond.
I've fight myself, but I
Is it just me, or is Cheryl a little low?
Cheryl's cutting out, yeah.
Cutting out a little bit. I'll bring the music down. I'd rather hear you than that. So, let me know if you.
I'll turn up my microphone sensitivity. Is that better?
It's a little better.
A little better.
Okay, yeah, a lot better.
Okay. Demetria says, I've tried to fight the part of myself that is violent and hateful, and I don't know whether I've succeeded or not. I just know that I have tried.
And it is quiet as that light shines. And the voice says, "We say we don't know, but deep down, you know. I will ask you once again, and in only this way. Are you worthy to carry this shield now?"
Demetria takes a second. I don't know if she can see herself in this darkness or whether it's just herself.
The light kind of bathes on her so that she's spotlit by it, so she can see herself.
And she looks down at the armor. Now that's hers, not stolen. She looks at the mace that is hers, not stolen. And she looks at the shield, scarred a little, marred from all the battles she's done. I'm gonna kill her. And she looks up towards the light, kind of pulls her shoulders back, and she says, "Yes, I think I am."
It's quiet again for a moment. She says yes. And then a strong hand comes out of that light, kind of twinkling with a majestic shimmer, and holds it out to her. Child, take my hand, for when you do, you shall either rise or come home. Does she take the hand?
She thinks about Ravi and Amnon and Rakalesh. When he says home, she thinks of that last backward glance she had for the House of Spirits when they were leaving Waterdeep. Taking a deep breath, she and
She reaches out, and as she takes it, the light kind of washes over what we can all see. And when it comes back, it's the twinkle of the light of a sunset on the Sword Coast. And actually, it's not the twinkling of the light of the sunset, it's the twinkling of a flame. And as we draw out, what looks like we draw out on a jack-o'-lantern laying amongst the grass, or what momentarily could have been mistaken for a jack-o'-lantern, when we realize it's actually the flaming skull of a lifeless corpse that is attached to that head. A commoner, one of many, as bodies are piled, lay smoking in the field of this tall grass. And as all the other people are standing there witnessing this in horror, there is a sound of some of them screaming, that screaming droning into Ravi's ear, while the majority of the other people just stand there petrified and speechless. The little girl kind of heaving like a child when they cry, her eyes slowly, stopping that glow, ceasing to glow. She seems confused before collapsing into Ravi's arms, kind of passed out. And as she does, just then, in a flash of brilliant light, Hildren appears. His armor kind of shaking as he walks forward. He pulls his blade, and he just speaks, "What wickedness is this? Stand aside, boy, and let me finish this." Clearly, with the flare that, with the Ravi getting the intention that he wants to strike this child down. How does Ravi respond?
I'm going to stand in front of her.
What are you doing?
It's just like everyone else. You see a child who's so different. These people stoned her. And in a fit of rage, as any of us would have done, but just she had the potential to actually use something. And for that, you blame her.
Those words strike hard to Kildren, him realizing he, maybe, the way you see, I think the way Ravi sees his face kind of recoil, maybe he is wrong. He's going back to that moment where he jumped the gun and attacked Araka. Oh, this is still not good.
No, it's not.
And as he lowers his weapon and kind of move over, kind of panning across the fields towards Greenus, and there outside the keep, inside the keep, Amnon is storming down those stairs, pushing past guards to get to the courtyard, so close to busting through that door that will lead to the sally port to get to his fallen companions. He's so close yet so far away. Halfway down those stairs, he realizes in full panic, why didn't I just fly? And as he's running, is there anything else Amnon might add as he's on his way?
You said it, man. Exactly what I was thinking all fucking week. Why the hell didn't I fly? And I mean,
panic does things to you.
It's a panic, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, being like the problem solver that Amnon is, he's halfway down those stairs. Those fucking wings are out. He's running on the walls to get down through, going as fast as he can, so he can use his momentum to go through the door. So he can, like, his plan is just to get to you and just put his hand on you as soon as possible to heal or to stabilize you, essentially.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's in complete panic mode. He's having a panic attack completely right now.
And it is good to hear his intentions. Good to know, all the things he knows he needs to do. He just needs to get there so he can execute. As he runs, it seems like forever, kind of, slow motion, the every moment kind of drawn out with anticipation, with panic and fear, hoping that it will be all right. And Tempe stands, I think, with fury in his eyes. The only thing that is possibly keeping him from going to slice Cyan Wrath's throat is his honor. Tears in his eyes. This was a duel. Demetria acknowledged and asked for this, and it is the only thing that is maybe holding or tempering his body from reacting.
It's literally the only thing. Every muscle in his body is on fire right now. Like, he feels more pain right now than he's ever felt because of what he's doing to hold himself back.
And so, holding all of that, a man of great emotion through much silence, he is wearing, there is no poker face. He is wearing how he feels right now on his sleeve. And down towards Rakalesh, also unconscious, lay drained of the endurance he shared willingly with Demetria. Rakalesh, for a moment, you can see all the people you've ever eaten standing before you, their faces hidden from the light. Even a dark vision would not pierce. They seem to be, but you're not fearful, they seem to be representations of the oaths that you have taken. One stands in the middle of all of them. One that you know is not dead, but very alive. Or at least was alive the last time you saw him. Rakalesh, in your mind, mutters his name, maybe even downed mutters Eldrakan, and thinks of his unfinished oath. Is there anything else you would add to that, Rakalesh, what you might be thinking or saying to yourself or trying to do?
I don't think it would be everyone he's eaten, but definitely everyone he's made an oath with.
Everyone he's had an oath with. Fair enough.
Just gotta get up, gotta finish that oath. Don't know what my god will do to me if I don't.
Understood.
There a lizard hill that lizard god presides over?
Lizard god is a lot different from your regular gods, where they're like, oh, they give you a choice. It's like, nope, you failed, smite.
Lizard smite.
Yeah.
And so Cyan Wrath stands looking down over Demetria as the adrenaline's coming down, heavily heaving. She was a worthy opponent. Mystics, come, she kind of calls out. Come heal this woman now! But it appears no one is moving fast enough. The blood is pooling around Demetria quickly. And she can only hold on so long. Holding that warm hand, Demetria, with the fear slowly leaving you, make your death save and send it directly to me in chat what you get. Right. And so, Demetria, feeling that fear kind of slowly drop away. She suddenly realizes that the warm hand is now cold. And the presence is, something's not right. This doesn't feel like Muhammad. And don't be fooled so easily, my child. There is no redemption at all for those like us. There is no need to hide your natural need to survive, no need for morale and a false sense of good. And suddenly that light drops. A pale woman with beautifully chiseled features steps from the darkness as the light dims down to that of a lantern. And instead of hair on her head, there are multiple draconic horns that seem to spring forth. And her eyes twinkle like candlelight. Demetria kind of shudders and lets go of her hand, but feels fear standing before her. This woman hardly revealing herself, and then she continues to speak. Actually, before she speaks, Demetria lets out a gasp and says the name Takesis. And suddenly, the woman becomes darkness all around Demetria as she is drowning in this darkness. And there, in the dark, is suddenly light. Suddenly, she sees Grayrin, the oldest, the one with the split lip, the one with the broken tusks, the one with all the worst ideas. And he's handing her a club. Kataya Cat Lady is holding back the crowd. And the summer sun is overhead, the redness of the bricks. The blacksmith is on his knees. Handle this, says Grayrin. He had told her, and she had. And as Demetria swung that club, and swings that club now, it connects with the temple of the blacksmith. A huge fucking crunching thud. And Demetria watches as though it was slow motion, and it's not the blacksmith there on their knees, but her own skull fracturing, blood spraying across the red hot bricks, blood spraying across her own face. She is standing there over her own corpse amongst the people in this town. And there, with a slow clap that starts to come from somewhere in the crowd. It's the end. Starting to pick up. She doesn't turn, she doesn't look, but she knows Takesis is in that crowd, watching and smiling. And then Demetria coughs up blood. She's awake, still down, but still fighting. And let's continue from there. All right. Demetria has made one death save. And Demetria, you are following yours is Rakalesh. Racklish, and let's we are open here in this moment. You all are free to role play, but we are still in an initiative order. So Racklish, you want to go ahead and make your roll?
Do you get any modifiers for a death save?
You do not.
No, that's a 8 then.
8. All right. So Racklish has one fail, and that darkness begins to kind of creep all around him. Maybe he starts to feel farther from the goal of that god. And Cyan Wrath looks down and realizes she's got fight left in her. This leads us to... Actually, I'm sorry. I should have asked for Raklesh's first, but narratively that would have made sense. Raklesh, you got your say, then Demetra made hers. This leads us to Tempe, and then Amnon, and then top of the round.
Nature's on the floor, presumably alive, though.
Yes, so basically she has just coughed up, and she is now basically death save. She's still making death saves, but she succeeded 1. She's 1 for, she's still at 2 fails. She's at 1 success. So what I'd like to think of that is, everybody thinks of death saves as you're just down, right? This is her like kind of like heaving and like coming out of like this coma stuff, like bleeding and looking up at the sky, and you see that to be, so she's there, but it's almost like she's looking at you, but she's also she's fluttering, she's going back and forth between being in and out.
If I rally and give her hit points, she gets up, right?
Not temporary hit points.
Not temporary hit points.
I know I've ruled that the other way before. I just don't think that
we were in the thick of it, and we were in the heat of it. Not gonna let it slide.
Okay, just I know we got to keep.
You got seconds. You got 6. Yeah.
I need a second. I need a second. What's around me right now?
Okay, so setting the scene.
Yeah.
You guys are you're right outside the doors of the keep. Sun is setting. Based on where Greenest is, it would be setting in the west. So yeah, it would be setting you'd be looking at the sunset from the keep.
What is close to me? What is around me though?
Yeah. So right around you, I want to set the full scene. You got those 2 towers on the wall. The doors are closed behind you. Any minute you can kind of hear Amnon starting to scream across the Sally Port, which is the courtyard, where he's probably about to like open that door. In front of you, Demetrius down. Beside Demetri is Racklish. So they're all within like 5 or 10 feet, right? Racklish is the farthest away from you. Right in front of you, no more, not even 15 feet away from you, is Cyan Wrath. She's now been healed. You clearly can see that some of her cuts and bruising she's not 100%, but a lot of it is healed. And from some, you can hear the murmurs of these cultists kind of chanting. And they, like I said before, there are somewhere between 40-ish combatants on the field, but many of them cultists. Some of them, at least 6 to 10 of them, look like really heavily armored knights. You don't know where these knights hail from. Their armor is kind of foreign to you. And then there are these soldiers who are a little bit more like rogues with their blades, who are waiting close by with like metal helmets on. And then you even spot here and there dragonborns in the group. So you feel surrounded, like Tempe, right? Like this is not a fight you're gonna make it out of if you just start one. You know that. You might be able to kill a bunch of them.
But there's nobody near me though. There's no one.
No one like who? No one allies? No one.
It doesn't matter if they're allies.
There's a lot of. I mean, literally what you see here is what you see. You, Racklish, Demetria, Cyan Wrath, and then the group. The rest of these are all the other guards are behind the wall, right? They wouldn't be out there.
Probably what's his face? Our old dude that's gonna end up dead.
Nighthill's in Tarlo, or no?
He ran inside.
So
not even him.
So Amnon will be there momentarily, but
right
now you don't have.
Fuck, man. Tempe's gonna run and place himself over Demetria and grab her by the armor and yell for her to get up.
Okay. And so
Like he's gonna look at Cyan Wrath and want to just fucking like really let loose, but he's gonna grab the fucking like the plate and like fucking tears are in his eyes. He's like fucking like get up.
and as he's tears in his eyes, he's shaking her, get up. Like her head continues to kind of bobble a bit. He's waiting for her to come back. Her eyes flutter, she sees him, she goes back. That moment, Amnon, from where you were when you left, I would think you would be able to make it right to the door to where you would interact with the door. But what are you doing in return? You're running across that courtyard.
So okay, so by running, I'd make it right to that door.
So you feel like you would be based on the way the map's set up, when you open the door, that's as far as you can go, right?
So okay, so then from there, would I be able to Misty Step to her?
Yeah.
So bonus action Misty Step, and I'm gonna kind of teleport kind of on top of Demetria and kind of push Demetria Tempe out of the way with that.
Okay.
And then and then I'm just gonna plant myself onto Demetria and cast Spare the Dying.
Okay. And what do you want to like? What is your in terms of what do you think it looks like or feels like as you cast that spell to Spare the Dying?
So okay, so basically they would see me rushing the door. My wings are up already because I was flying across the courtyard, and then I would just. And then I wouldn't just like go around it with mist, but my wings would flutter around me to turn me into a sphere, and I would just teleport. And then I would spin and teleport right above Demetria, push Tempe away with one of the wings. And then when I fall on top of her, I would just cocoon her with my wings, and you would just see flashing lights from inside of her, from inside of my wings. And then my wings would just kind of disappear because the time limit's gone. And I would have taking my robot and stuff would be mechanically mending her like ropes, spider, just quickly mending everything as fast as I can.
Nice. So the dying process kind of stops on Demetria, halting. Demetria is.
Can I say something?
Yes, that's what I want.
Tiamat before I settle into unconsciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Standing in that memory around that street and holding. That's why my mic sucks, because I was using my laptop mic and not my standing mic.
Yeah, it sounded very different from your normal mic.
Demetria standing there in this memory, looking down at herself. She's going to turn and she's going to try and see if she can spot Tiamat in the crowd.
As she looks, she does. That lady behind me, that staring, looking above others.
Keeping eye contact with her for a second.
She's tall. She's unnaturally her head kind of peeks above at all.
Yeah. Looking up at her, Demetria's going to hold eye contact with her for a second. And then she's going to toss the club aside. And she's going to say to Tiamat, it doesn't matter whether I am a good person or not. What matters is that I am willing to try. And so long I am able to fight, I will fight you. For everyone who needs someone to fight for them. And then she's going to kneel down. And the way she didn't, that memory with the blacksmith, she's going to kneel down. And she's going to sort of try and help her other self stand up. If she can stand. Try and if this dream self has lay on hands healing the wound in her temple. helping her stand up. And then looking into her own reflection for a moment, herself in this dream. That's going to be what fades away as she sinks into unconsciousness. Stable unconsciousness.
We flash to light. We'll take a 5-minute break there. I know it's an early break, but take a 5-minute break there.
Am none.
You have no idea how happy I am. I took Misty Step. It was like a.
It's always the spells that you're like, maybe it'll be useful.
Yeah. Oh my god. Ah. Woo.
So bad. So here's the moment that I wanted. The moment that I wanted was I wanted one of her people to be close by enough to where I can grab them, put a knife to them. Because I wanted that moment of desperation.
Your time will come. Your time will come.
I wanted that moment of desperation.
Okay, well, now that I'm curious, now on this 5-minute break, I'm curious about what I would have gotten on my next couple of rolls if I had to keep rolling.
Don't roll, because you're gonna, if you start blowing 20s, bro, don't do it.
I'm curious. These aren't gonna be, if it's a 20, I'll be like, oh cool, I would have popped up anyway. But next roll, another 19, so that would have been 2 successes to 2 fails.
Oh wow.
And 11, I would have been up.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Nice. Thank you. Mwah! Thank you, emergency dice.
don't throw those
You're
dice
so
at me.
beautiful. I
Oh,
love
Don't
you,
worry,
baby.
Racklish is still dying.
No!
He's not dying. He's just not in the middle of this fucking clusterfuck right now, because
He just didn't have a
Yes,
face
he
to face
is.
with. He just didn't have a
How
face
the
to face with.
Brad-
I mean, I can still heal you, can't I?
And I have
Yeah,
lay on
I
hands.
still got 2 death saves, but
Rockalish
still
is
unconscious.
dying,
I'm not
and
up.
you're all
I'm
just
unconscious.
like, we're good. All
The
right.
lizard man is smarter than Demetria. He's the one who did not choose the 1v1. So
I guess I didn't realize that Recollection was so bad.
yeah, he's where Demetria is at, bro.
I'm at
Yeah.
1 death save, or I'm 1 failed save, 0 successes.
Yeah.
Honestly, Amnon would have gone for Dimitri just because that's who he was watching. He probably is just noticing Recollection now.
Because Racklish was on the
Racklish
sidelines.
collapsed after Demetria got coup de grace. So like when she went down, he was still up, but then when she got hit with that second attack, that was the auto crit
Yeah.
/ auto fail. That's when he went down.
Oh yeah. So Amnon wouldn't have even seen you go down yet. So he's just noticing it now. Fuck, okay, let's see here.
Technically, he has all the same wounds.
Ah, fuck it.
Mm.
I can just spare the dying again. I can do that at will.
Because also I think spare the dying does not get me up. It just stabilizes me. So I'm still
Yeah.
unconscious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
still,
could've
you
used
still
Cure
need
Wounds.
healing.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's see here.
Because once I'm up, I have all of my lay on hands still. This is not, we crossed some things off the list already, boys. I'm so pleased.
I mean, you could have used Cure Wounds instead of Spare the Dying. Would have done the same thing, but better. She would.
He couldn't have though, because he used Misty Step as bonus action.
Oh yeah.
That's right. So then with you, then okay, if that's the case, then I can use Cure Wounds on you then, just for my next, if I can get to you next.
Guess he's got the next turn.
Yeah.
I am
Start really fucking
Just don't
drinking.
roll a 1.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I got 3 inspiration.
Can you use inspiration on death saves?
Good question. We'll ask.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you can use an inspiration on any D20.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I'm
in
pretty
the
sure
new
you
D&D
can.
one rules. What is it? D20 test? Is that the new term for it?
But I think with death saves, the only thing you just don't get a modifier, but other things that affect saving throws do still affect them.
Actually, if Demetria's up, I do get her paladin aura because that says
I'm not up, I'm
charisma on
unconscious, I'm
all
stable.
saves. I know. I'm just
Yeah.
saying it works on all saves.
I can't believe Malcolm, he did this at the end of Storm Kings 2. He used my writing against me. That
That's okay. I have a feeling that I asked him if I can use Misty Step, and he's like, yes. I saw Misty Step, and I was like, ooh, I felt like I just hit the jackpot.
we love Misty Step in this house.
If
And
you would
we
have
hate
died, I would
the guy.
have really used it against you. I had like a whole nother. I had
Okay,
a
there's
lot
still
of your
time.
words prepared for that.
There's still
time. There is. There's still plenty of it. No one's really safe right now, but you know.
I know. Kildren's trying to kill me.
I was like almost like when I was
Bro,
almost like, okay, yeah, I'll take this
please.
once I got stabilized. But no, I'm
Please
gonna
don't
save
fuck
that.
with Kildren.
We're at least out of the one death on one roll
God.
moment of the
Oh.
game.
Scary.
No,
Wouldn't it be
I'm
wild
really-
if Demetra
I'm
ends up
super
surviving and then you
afraid.
find out that Kildren killed Robbie?
No, that wouldn't be funny at all.
Oh.
That wouldn't be funny at all. That wouldn't be.
I'm really afraid of that because children don't give a fuck, dude. Like
I
children,
know.
children
No,
really don't give
fucking-
a fuck. That's the
Fucking
thing.
Sean messaged me and was all like, "Oh yeah, he's a conquest paladin." And then this shit started happening like after he already
But
said
here's the
that.
deal. I'm like, Cheryl needs to understand that Bahamut and Kildren, like conquest, like that's
They're cool with the
jam.
violence. They're cool with the
That's
violence.
the jam. But also, I didn't realize that Kildren was going to show up in the jungle with fucking Robbie and the demon child because he'll fucking kill everybody. Like, that's the problem, man. Like,
That's what Demetra's trying not to do. She's trying not to kill Robbie and some demon children.
So here's a sidebar. In another campaign where I used Kildren, who was about as powerful as he is right now, he slaughtered like 70 people. Just
That's as many
cause.
people are left in the group. That's perfect.
Just
20 to 30, we're good.
because- Just because they defied Bahamut, and it was a big deal. So I know that's not this game, but that motherfucker don't
It's
give a
kind
fuck.
of this game. It's kind of this game.
So I'm a little sad
Oh.
Reckless is down for all this because he would have gone to Tempe and be like, hey, what do you want to do to save Demetra?
I know. We need Lizard.
That was the desperation to make the oath, but he down
God. I need to give somebody else this healing potion because I was confused.
You're like hot potatoing the health
You
potion.
gotta keep like the healing potions gotta be on the people like Tempe who don't have
It really
that.
should because I have
gotta-
magical healing. I
all
just
your
I
fighters
forget that I
should
have
Oh, yeah,
it.
that's true. Yeah.
I
was like,
forget-
why
I
do
truly
need
forget
it?
that
I
I
don't
have
fight
it.
anybody.
Yeah.
The health potion is red. I assume it'll match the leathers. It'll look
Yeah.
great.
Oh, beautiful.
All right. Sorry. I also had to make it. Didn't mean to do it. Short break because it gave us a little moment to come off that, but it also had to like deal with my dogs. They're making a bunch of noise in the background. So, all right. Settle back in. I'm sure Jameson is there. All right. So we're still in kind of this locked initiative, this very intense standoff. You know, while I call it initiative, none of the villains or the dragon, even as it kind of like, so every time you hear it kind of its wings kind of flying low overhead, none of them have actually attacked. Now, they definitely have a very strong intimidating presence, but even none of the guards on the roof have let loose an arrow. So they have kind of played it by the books up until this point. And that is when Cyan Wrath speaks, as she is still seems to be preoccupied, like you, seems to be preoccupied with trying to get Demetria some help, even though it is her turn. And, you know, she kind of is waving them over. They are coming too slowly. But then she looks, Tempe's eyes, she looks into Amnon. And you should all tend to your wounded. A good warrior like that, I would hate to see go to waste. But I must tell you all now, this town is Takesis. And I expect all those that fled into the wilderness to have returned to their homes by nightfall. We will not stay long, but my men will need ale and good food, and we will pay well. But we will occupy here for the night or so until it is time for us to move on. It's kind of a quaint little town, and I would hate to see it burned to the ground. And then she like bursts into like ash, and the dragon like does this really low flyby that shudders the walls of the keep, and she like appears on top of the dragon. She goes from here to literally like misty stepping, but it's really not even a misty step. It's another ability she has, but puts her back on top of her mount. I see careens up into the sky. A couple of her soldiers kind of take a couple steps forward. As she's flying away, Ravi, back, you're now standing there facing Killjoy. Some of the people start to be like, "Shh. You must," someone, old man speaks up, "You must exile this child. We are not safe. Do you see what has happened? You're protecting it, and at least he appears to be an angel of some sort." Kind of looking at the glistening platinum or armor of Killjoy. Ravi, what are you doing here in this moment?
I will. You people will always be the same. Always. Do what you want. Find your own way to the woods. And then I'm going to pick up the child. I'm gonna look at the woman who's like been like, oh, I'm gonna be her mother. What does she look like right now?
She's kind of distraught. She's like hands out, like, bring her, give her back to me. As other people are calling, it's not your child, you know. So she's kind of spending time arguing with them, and she kind of rushes over. Is she okay? Is she okay? Trying to like kind of wipe the strands of hair out of little girl's face. She's a bit sooty from walking all day in the grime, you know. You both know she's fine. She's alive. She's breathing well. But she goes, can you take care of her? I love her dearly, but you see the way they are. The mob will kill us both. I know they won't touch you. Or you must show mercy. You must. And she kind of drops on her knees before Killjoy. Tempe, send me how you think Killjoy would respond.
I don't really want to.
Do it.
I will, though.
I plead the fifth. Plead the fifth.
And you can continue to roll, but Ravi also, if there's anything else you want to role play while he's sending that, I know I'm lingering on this moment, but it is a moment away from the party, and so want to make sure Ravi gets his due, and also kind of narratively find out where this scene is sitting before we continue on. Well, I'll wait for that response. I'll go back and say, push to who's up next would be Rakalesh making another death save, I believe.
Question: are we able to use inspiration on death saves?
In this heightened moment, I am not going to allow inspiration on death saves. I am going to align it and treat it as, I know I've done it in the past. I think the oppressive nature of the situation does not warrant it.
That's a 7.
Oh, you sent it in Discord. You got it. Yeah, we in game, man. I don't look at Discord when we in game. But yeah, let me take a look. Yeah, I closed. I know you guys chatting.
You don't look in Discord when we're not in game either. It's not.
Yeah.
I put it in the chat, dude.
Okay, yeah. So sorry if that's why. Yeah, I put.
No. I don't ever know where to.
I got too many screens to play with as it is, so I don't.
Every time I'm not in Discord, I check Discord and there's like 70 messages I missed, and all of
Yeah.
And it's all me and Lex.
It's truly.
And on.
And so this kind of, you know, and he has this, like, I know I probably haven't been using that voice right, but Kildren has that kind of very deep commanding voice. He looks down and he goes, something is off and I do not know what. And if Bahamut were to tell me right now to finish it, I would. But he is not. And he has told me to help you all. And with these people, I see their mob mentality does not concern me. And so I will leave this up to you, Ravi. But just know that you wear the responsibility for taking this child if she turns out to be a curse. And it's almost like his spidey senses tingle, and this is happening at the same moment that, you know, Dimitri is like falling and kind of getting up, and all this stuff is happening with you all, and he kind of bamps away, he just takes off into the sky, and starts to fly towards the kind of only has so many of these teleportation abilities, so now he's just like literally flying out towards the keep. And yeah, and so Rakalesh, make your death save.
You didn't hear me say it earlier?
Oh, what'd you get?
7.
7. Oof. So that is number 2. Well,
Better than a 1.
better than 1, and we've got some people so Demetria, are you back? Was no one able to provide anything?
No, I'm stable, but I'm not up.
Oh, you're stable, but you're stable
Yes.
though. Yeah.
I am stable. I'm unconscious.
Amnon, did you not have cure? Oh, he couldn't touch her. Yeah, so you didn't give him a healing word, did you? So you just
I don't have healing word.
got it.
Because he
Mhm.
misty stepped.
You misty stepped. Oh wait. Oh, because you misty stepped. Got it. Everyone's standing around watching you. Dimitri is stable. Dimitri, you starting to flicker to a bit of the orangish light that is in the sky. We're
Her
back.
hands are like clawing up some dirt by her sides.
And actually, if I'm not mistaken, oh no, so actually based on the initiative order here, now Tempe, I will allow you to interject here or interstep, but suddenly, Cyan Wrath has kind of flown into the sky and she's kind of wheeling around, and this cultist approach is kind of rushing over, clearly out of the pushing past people, and wearing that, the metal. Remember the people you saw in the folks you saw in the cemetery, kind of with Severin, kind of dressed in a very similar fashion. These kind of like weird beads and extra ornamentation on them, heavy cloak. Puts out whoever it could be. It was like you can tell there's an old woman under these by her hands when the hands come out, and the eyes underneath the veil, or she doesn't have the metal mask. She has more of a veil. But those eyes seem kind of sullen and sorrowful, sinister even. But they seem to look like AI, like leaning over to touch Demetria. Let me help this child. My lord commands it.
Tempe's like blubbering, and he's like, please.
And she leans over and touches her with her dark hands. And whether from Bahamut or Takesis, one thing is true: is healing is healing. And so Demetria will take 2d8 plus 4 life. I'm gonna let you roll it.
Me?
I'm gonna let you roll the. She's laying. She's doing a cure wounds at a.
Damn, she's a good healer.
At a
16.
second level. Ooh, geez. So
Not bad.
you wake up,
cultists.
your eyes flutter to life with these grimy, kind of like they're not dirt, like the hands just kind of look blackened, like sooty hands, holding your face. And for a second, the old woman looks like Takesis under the veil until, second look, it's just this old woman. Look at this.
One of Demetria's hands comes up and grabs onto her wrist. Super hard for half a second.
Please.
Can I break Demetria's grip?
I mean no harm.
Demetria lets her. Tempe, like, grabbing her wrist, kind of lets her. She, like, has to focus on, like,
I'm gonna
losing
The
Stab
soldier
her
step
wrist.
forward.
And Demetria by the armor and pull her towards me.
It's okay. It is okay.
Demetria's, like, panting and, like, spitting out blood. Still trying to clear her mouth. She's, like, leaning up against Tempe, kind of, like, patting him to, like, grab him and, like, make sure that he's real, that this isn't another one of Takesis's dreams.
I
Make sure.
lightly say it because I'm whispering. I'm going through like fucking spit and slobber. I'm just like, we've got you.
You were the symbol of the brother, but the sister, she is greater. She is the heart and the soul of this land. Her light, her darkest light, be with you. And she steps up and starts to back away.
Demetria's, like, groaning. We're in initiative order, so I can't do anything since it's not my turn.
Yeah, she's waking up. This leaves, and that's because that person would have gone. Now, Tempe, it's your turn, and then Amnon's.
I mean, there's nothing I want to do.
If not, then that's fine. We're just
Rally
gonna-
time, buddy. Rally time,
yeah.
buddy.
I don't know that that Rakalesh is down at the same time. I don't really know that.
You
right?
know it. You see him. He's right next to you. I think you would have come to and realized, like, okay. I think
Is he right
here's
next
the,
to
what
me?
you tell me if I'm wrong. If Demetria woke up, I know that's your girl. Like, so then I think if she's up, you would probably your tunnel vision would start to dissipate and see that he's down.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. What I know, if I would know, I would rip myself off of Demetria if she is up and on her own, if she can with her own power, and I would go to Rakalesh as well, because I feel like hold on. Would I know that they were linked to begin with?
You wouldn't know that they were
You
linked,
wouldn't know
but
that.
definitely as Demetria's becoming conscious and she's, like, looking around frantically, she knows that they
Yeah.
were linked.
So I
So
would know,
definitely
I would know,
Demetria's
I
gesturing.
would know, right? So I
Yeah.
would.
You would know he looks like he's not taking a nap. You know what I'm saying? He's
Off of Demetria, I would be like, get up. And I would go to Rakalesh and I would like slam down. We all need to get up.
okay. Here's what I'll take from you. Like, actually, I should have. There was a chance I could have taken this from you the
I
first
have-
time, but I'll allow you to make a. Well, I just don't see Tempe doing it because you can stabilize with a medicine check. I just don't. I can't see Tempe doing it. I would give him it as a advantage, but maybe if we translate it to morale, like he's just trying to beat on his
Can I
chest and
just use it
stabilize
as a
him.
rally? Can I use it as a rally to get him back up?
It
instead
won't
of
get
a
him back up. I didn't allow it on Dimitri. I'm not gonna allow it on
Why
Rocket.
not? Not to get back up. I guess a medicine check would be the only thing I could do.
You can make a disadvantage medicine check to stabilize him.
Okay. Then
Or
I'm gonna-
Amnon. I mean, I'm sure Amnon. You can take.
I'm
that
like,
from
I'm
him.
like, I can
He's
do
like
it.
right. He's like, move out the way. Technically, we know Amnon can get him on his feet.
Okay, look,
I have an idea, Sean.
hold on. How about this? If I
Here's the thing: you know that Rakalesh is going to be
He's up.
saved by Amnon because he's there. So what would Ravi do to the
Can
situation?
I grab Amnon, because Amnon's with us, with me and Demetria right now, right?
Mhm.
Because he was basically on top of her when I was grabbing
Yeah.
her, right? So I got pulled over to the side, so I get back up and I grab her, and I'm like, Yeah, I know she's alive right now, right? So I'm
Yes,
like,
she's awake. You can the way I look is you said get to your feet. You've
I
pulled her
would
to her
grab
feet.
Amnon while I'm trying to grab her. I would grab Amnon and push him towards Rakalesh. Can I do
Okay.
that? Because
Yeah.
I feel like that would be more
Fine.
characteristic of what we're doing right now. Like I can't
Yes.
do it personally, but I can say Amnon, and I would grab him, whatever the wing, whatever he's doing, and I would push him, and I would be like, and I would while I'm trying to get Demetria up. Would that make sense? Like
Yeah.
this is a scene where I'm trying to help Demetria up, and I'm telling her to get up, and I'm pushing Amnon to Rakalesh to get Rakalesh up. You know what
Here's
I mean?
what I'll give you. I'll allow you to hold your action, your rally, for if Amnon gets Rakalesh up, then you can rally because you're doing it here on this turn, right? And then Rakalesh would get the benefit of your rally. Is that fair?
Okay.
It's a turn it's a turn that's not wasted.
Yeah. With it.
Based on what you described to me happening. Amnon, you are up.
Well, so right after I picture Tempe kind of pushing me out of the way to get to Demetria, and I'd just be sputtering, just like, just, what the fuck? And then he grabs me and pushes Amnon over to Rakalesh, and at first I growl as draconically as Amnon can, but then once I turn to see Rakalesh, I instantly panic again, and then I cast Spare the Dying.
All right. Wait, you're okay. Do you don't have any healing spells?
I do. Can I use?
Why not just heal him and put him on his feet?
Well, does Cure Wounds work like that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's the thing is I've been like, why are you sparing the dying when you could just give him hit points?
The way it's worded, I thought it was specific.
Yeah. No. You could just
Okay, so
just heal him.
So yeah, Cure Wounds, 1d8 plus 2.
Spare the dying made sense on her because I don't think you couldn't touch her, but because I guess because you'd used a Misty Step, which is a leveled spell, right?
Yes.
So you would not have been able to level spell Cure Wounds. But then you still
for Demetria it made sense. For Demetria it made sense because
Misty Step.
Misty Step is a bonus. Though I would have still been able to do it because Misty Step is a bonus action, and then
It's still a spell though.
that's right. So it wouldn't have worked. I like okay. Yeah, so I'll just do Cure Wounds on Rakalesh then.
Okay.
So like basically like I would quickly just like grab my my healing robot. I'd go to Rakalesh as he has no wounds. I'd be like, what the fuck? And then I'd put that away, and then I would just
Rakalesh
start.
is covered in wounds. They're the same wounds that Demetria has.
Every wound Demetria. So he's like Wolverine. Like remember that moment in the first X-Men when Wolverine grabbed was it Rogue? And like she sucked all his power, so every wound he had, she like had. It's like the same. That's the way I see it. I don't know.
Okay, so then I would quickly smash the robot onto the worst wound I would see and just start patching him up, and I would just try to wake him up,
He like kind of comes to, and the last thing lingering in Rakalesh's mind is that image of Eldricon like looking at him. That one draconic eye lingers in Rakalesh's mind as he wakes up.
I'd be like, how are you? Okay, you okay, Rakalesh?
I'll let a Rakalesh respond if you like to.
This was unpleasant.
Oh, I can only imagine, my friend. I'm
How
so
much
glad you're
healing
okay.
did I get?
Let me get that roll going here.
And
8 points. Oh, 10 points, sorry.
And so here in this moment is a pivotal decision that they all are up and awake together, back to back. Cyan Wrath, her words still fresh in their minds. This town is occupied by Takesis. Will they fight? Will they stand down? What do they do? What do they tell? They can tell that Actually, Tarlo's not there, so they don't know where he stands on this. But I'm wondering where they are in their minds right now, where this, are they in a defeatist situation? Are they in a, like, we turn tail and maybe come back another day? Are they, we still stand against this, even though there was a fair fight? I'd like to know kind of where they're at. And Robbie's still on his own, so just between the group that's standing in front
I'm
of the keep.
thinking we need
find out
to.
what's going on.
We got to get to Ravi. Yeah, I think we
This
need
is
to go
happening here,
inside.
We have to get to Robbie.
We have to go inside. We have to talk to Tarlo. I almost called him
Mhm.
Harlow, like Jack Harlow. Harlow, we need to talk to him, see where they stand, because I'm thinking at the very least we need to take that fancy tunnel out of there the back way, so we can try and catch up with Ravi. Because we're not staying. The
And
townspeople shouldn't stay, but I don't think we can force them at this point.
Amnon just feels that we need to recollect and just go after that star as stealthily as we can. That's what Amnon's at right now. So I'm with Demetria. Like, step one for this plan, get him in with us, and we leave right away. And the town is, dude, you can't help them right now. The best thing you can do is get the star.
Campy doesn't give a fuck about this town. He wants to get his friends, get into the woods, and get Ravi and figure shit out at that point. Because he's worried about if this is happening here, then we need to know what's happening over there. Because for all he knows, that dragon's left and swooped down over there.
Demetria is gonna lay on hands. She's gonna walk over to Rakalesh. She's gonna put a hand, maybe not up on his shoulder, but on his arm. And we're going to pass. She's going to pass 20 of her lay on hands to him and then another 20 to herself. And she's going to say, kind of still bloodied and beaten up, but she's going to say, "Thank you. I appreciate the help."
It is all I could have done in that situation.
That's all we can do. And I think we should go inside and maybe talk to Tarla.
And as they,
With her shoulders back, one eye kind of on the sky to try and see if she can spot Cyanrath at all. Thinking that
she can see her on that dragon kind of wheeling overhead. Kind of looks like it's getting a survey.
This isn't over. This isn't over.
That is when, as you are retreating inside the keep, one of the figures steps forward who was there alongside her, and a gentleman passes him a chain where a blue drake is like connected to. He's like dragging this like creature forward like a dog. His sword completely sheathed, but fully armored to head to toe. You can't see this figure's face. Lord Cyanrath, you must know. You must turn over access to the keep upon our request. We will say that she has told me that you are, again, not seeing any facial features from, that you are all welcome to dine with her this evening. And you, pointing at Demetria, are welcome to share her bed. And we will crash to black, take a 5-minute break there.
Cyanrath slid into those DMs. She was like, hold on. This is like the wingman. She's like, okay, real quick though. Damn.
That's our wingman.
It's an abusive relationship.
Sylvan Rat.
I just don't think you should do it. I think
No, I'm not gonna.
I don't think she is, but yeah, it's clearly like that's what she is.
Demetria has had her fill of scary, crazy, evil ladies. She has had enough.
I mean, look, we could find you a nice townsfolk woman who like runs a tavern or something. Like we don't need this in our lives right now.
Yeah. They retreat inside. What I want to know on this break, like they retreat inside, they're gonna go talk to Tarlo. I want to know what they're gonna tell him. What they plan to do. I hear they're gonna plan to maybe take that tunnel out, right? Maybe the group does clearly outside, doesn't know about the tunnel. Just kind of hear some plans. Where to next, all that, as some inspiration for where we go next. So this is just a little bit, I say 5 minutes, but really it's just us talking through what we think happened, what we think their setup when they go in there is to do.
I'm sorry, I'm still hung up a little bit on the you can share her bed. That was a very formal way
She's wild, this chick, bro. What is happening right now?
Can't even ask
You get the
herself.
feeling that like generals, like, the way I look at, it's like she's mobbing around with this huge group, and just like spoils of war, the way she's making an offer, like, to this warrior. There is something there. That's just why she wanted to keep her alive. So she's like, yeah, you can come see me later. I like you. That's the closest thing to her.
As much as Demetra is trying to be good, she's trying to be a paladin. Her ego is stroked a little bit. Her ego is kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And I imagine that Demetria has met a ton of women like this and men like this and people like this. This is like her background. A bunch of cutthroats who, I mean, I'm sure Kataya is not far from.
That's why, yeah, she's tired of it. She's
tired of it. Just like, these are all the, bad boyfriend girlfriends of the past.
Yeah, she's like, all of my exes have one thing in common. They were evil.
Wrath asserted dominance. Now she's there to claim the prize.
Yep.
Sagat's there.
Sagat's waiting.
Sagat's
my little house husband Sagat is waiting for
guy.
me.
He's a good guy.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, he was right.
Tempe is like, no. If I get a vote, if you're coming,
Tempe's like Dimitri is not my type, but but at the same time, exudes all of the.
Let's get her paired up with the townsfolk woman.
I don't think there's anybody that's good enough for Dimitri when it comes to Tempe, the way he sees it.
Yeah, no.
Demetrius like, can I get some advice? Tempe's like, break up with him.
He's the girlfriend who's like, girl, you don't need that motherfucker. Yeah. Ad for you, yeah.
What's that vine where it's like, if he's not there for you, you're gone. I'm gone. Now go.
Yeah. That's classic Tempe right there. Like, girl, anyways, we'll take our shoes off and go dance together over there. Don't worry about it.
Now, good. Ravi, I need to know: are you just heading for the forest with this kid, leaving the people on their own? Okay. Is that is he committing to that? I know he said it.
No, well, as y'all were talking about what's happening, I started getting into Ravi's head more, and I think like he does mean it when he says that, but like as he goes to take that step, he kind of has that like flashback memory of like when he was kind of like at his lowest, and the acolytes from the House of Selune, the Temple of the Seven Stars found him, and so he's just kind of like gonna give them one last chance. He's not gonna force them to go with him, right. But he's not gonna say I'm also not. He's like, I'm not gonna abandon this child. I'm not gonna abandon you people, but I'm going. If you want to come with, that's entirely your choice. I'm not going to force you to do something you don't want to do, but I'm not abandoning this child.
Okay. And then it seems like the other group is going to talk Tarlo abandon. Now, what I want to know from this other group is what do you guys think about? I mean, here's the thing. Ravi at Corpus he doesn't know what's going on. He's committing to his goal, but Cyan Wrath did say she expects the people to start to return to the town because no need of occupying a town if there's no people to run it. So I wonder what the group, do they just bounce and leave? Because I heard Tempe say, I don't care about these people. Do they just like, do they leave? Do they leave Tarlo to deal with this mess? There's a lot of questions that kind of need some answering. So
Amnon's ready to leave. But I think I'm okay with that since he's part devil.
I'm okay with whatever they decide. I think I know where we're picking up based on what you've said so far. I just want to make sure I'm not. So they're gonna, I think they're gonna take off.
I'm like giddy. This is nice. I'm alive. This is great. This
You're
is
alive. Yeah.
And now it
is a breath of fresh air. Sounds like, man,
that's suffering. I'm sorry, Lex. You're suffering alone right now.
I am. I was like, oh, maybe there'll be somebody in this wood who will help me with these fucking people.
If I died, you would have my backup character.
Instead, now I'm just like scared and alone.
No.
I'm not scared and alone. I'm angry and upset. I'm angry and with child.
You can be a lot of things at once. You can be sad and angry and alone.
Yeah, you got Amnon's imp with you.
Oh, that's
right. Yeah, you have Axel with you.
Axel, that's his name. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, you have Axel with you. There you go. You have a nice little invisible friend with you.
I have a literal, like, what is it? an imp, and then but they're all like, no, we're gonna kill that child.
The imp is invisible.
Yeah, but to be fair, I did turn Axel into a dog.
It's just-
Oh,
it's
right, he's
very
like a cute
funny.
little
It's
Shiba
Yeah,
Inu.
so it makes sense that no one notices.
People are like, that dog is so cute. That child is a demon.
I bet you once they started like accusing the child of being a demon, Axel's like,
Little doggy whistling innocently.
It's just
It's like a black dog with red eyes.
Uh-oh.
Everyone's like, such a cute Scottish Terrier.
Oh man, I just realized that when we get back, Axel's gonna communicate what's going on over there to me now that I'm calm.
Now you can hear him. Yeah, now that you pick
Yeah,
up
we
their
can
flight.
talk. So I'm gonna be like, we gotta go now. So I don't think a question if we're gonna stay is even a question anymore.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to make a decision then, since I know that they're going to leave Tarlo.
Hear me out. Tempe
And
definitely
I'm going to
doesn't
ask
care.
Ravi a question personally, since he's
Oh, shit.
separate.
Personally,
Personally,
Personally, Nez.
Let's see.
that means he's gonna kill you.
it's like, what's Robbie's weakness?
It's Robbie's worst nightmare.
Yeah, what's his
Food allergies.
fear?
If he were to die right now, what would he see?
Tempe would love to save everyone in this town, but he really only gives a shit about his fucking people who he's with.
I think, yeah, I don't think I'm definitely not down to kumbaya with these
Like,
people at this
he
point. Like,
lo-
sure,
like,
it was a
he-
fair fight. We're not friends. Us having a fair fight doesn't make us
Matriarch
friends.
right now. Demetria is Tempe's pseudo matriarch, and he loves Demetria, and he loves Robbie. Like, they frolic in the woods and shit. You know what I mean? Like, there are very few things that would.
Robbie is doing the opposite of frolicking in the woods right now. Robbie
he's
is doing
Yeah, I don't
whatever
know-
the
I don't know
emotional
what Robbie's
opposite.
doing, but we need to figure it out. And these people with him, like, they're important to him because Rakalesh and Amnon are trying to save his pseudo family. You know what I mean? And so they're just as important. So he doesn't give a fuck about anything outside of that right now.
Sean, I
Yeah,
don't
I
like
think-
the pseudo in front of family.
I mean, yeah, because right, Demetria Amnon is her stepbrother. So really, he's your best friend.
This is technically for the recording, but he's like, y'all motherfuckers are to him his family. Like, he's fucking he don't want to see anything happen to anybody, really. But especially Demetria and Robbie, who he's traveled with for some time period. You know what I mean? Personally, he hasn't
prior
traveled
history. Prior
solo.
history. It's the Demetria
Prior
and
history.
Amnon.
It's the prior history. It's the prior history is what it is. You know. These townsfolk, man, fuck these.
I don't like
townsfolk.
that look on either Malcolm or Lex's faces.
No,
I
they
don't like
both
those
look
looks.
awful. Yeah, they both look like the motherfuckers stealing chocolate.
And they're between me. They're between me on my Zoom screen. So I'm like in the middle of this. They're not between me. They're on either side of me. I'm between them. I'm like,
After
turn
this
your
fight,
cameras
nobody
off.
better
My
fuck
God.
with anybody.
Oh man! Oh, what's that meme of the two like twin girls that are like whispering to each other, then laughing?
All right, I gotta go off camera. I need 5 minutes. Continue to talk about yourself.
Lex is like, Malcolm, Ravi is going to run headfirst into a tree until he dies. And
Bo
already
comes in and
broke a
just stabs Robbie.
Dude, nothing better happened to Robbie. I'm so outside of game. I'm so fucking scared.
I feel like Lex,
I
you were
thought
like, Lex,
Malcolm-
you were letting me be the false, you were letting me be the red herring. You were like, let them all be concerned about
That's what I
whether
thought was
Demetrius
about to
gonna live or
happen.
not.
That's what I thought was gonna happen, dude. I was about to fucking chat Malcolm and be like, bro, you better chill. Because
On a
dude,
better
I
note,
don't
do you want to hear what my next death save would have been?
What would have
Oh.
been?
4.
22.
Ah, no.
Oh,
Damn
man.
it. Well, that's good that we got to you.
Could you imagine the ceremony we would have had to have if Rakalesh?
We would have had to eat him, right? Is that how that works? We would have had to eat
We
him.
would have to eat him. We would have had to all eat
It's
him.
what he would have wanted.
I
yes.
know, I
Yeah.
know. I was thinking about that too today when I was going to Target. I was thinking to myself, like, well, what's going to happen if Rocklish dies? We probably have to eat him. That's probably how that has to go.
Probably
Could I
tastes
do
like
that? Do you think
tough
Demetria
chicken,
could
too.
eat him for him?
No, my gift didn't work.
I mean,
Probably
those
like
are just
eating-
his beliefs. He didn't care. He'd just think like, wow, you wasted
Done.
a perfectly good slab of meat.
Wait.
Wait, I saw that picture.
Wait.
Here, I'll remove-
Let me
I'll remove
let
the
me
gun.
let me
I
save
saw the
this
picture.
image so that I can repost it.
There, I'll remove the gun until you post the image.
Easy there, American.
On the bright side, if Raklesh did die, it'd have 703 gold and 3 diamonds.
Hey,
There you go.
There it is.
child got him. Gun.
That's a terrifying meme.
I love.
It really
I love,
is. It's so unsettling.
That's so
That's
terrifying.
horror. That
Yeah,
meme.
that's horror.
That's horror.
100%.
I need you to know. I need you to know that whenever I use the gun reaction, you know that picture of like the old lady with the gun like this. That's me every single time I use the
I
gun
love that
reaction.
picture. I love that. I love that picture so much. Dude, Rakalesh came in clutch. Like a motherfucker.
Oh god, which one? There's so many.
Oh, I am trying to find it now. It's the specific one. Let me find it.
I kind of have to love Rakalesh now.
No, it's a specific one. This specific one.
Oh, okay, I see that.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
wait, no, I see a variation of that one.
There's a couple. There's a whole set of this
Wait.
lady with a gun.
Lex, send yours. I want to see which one you found now. Because
This is the one I got.
Oh,
That's when I'm also mad at you. That's when I'm mad at you at the same time.
Yeah. That's a real good one.
The Raklesh has come in clutch several times.
I know, but this time really mattered to Tempe in a way that he's gotta like hug a lizard now. It's really weird.
Tempe doesn't know what he does unless Dimitri shares it.
I'm sure Dimitri is gonna share it with us.
Well, yeah, because Dimitri's gonna
I
show.
have a feeling she's gonna.
Yeah, 'cause she owes her life to Rakalesh. Like Jesus.
Also, now I know before I cast that spell, I should probably cast False Life on myself to give myself a bit more HP.
Eh.
Also, I would have been down way sooner if I wasn't healing myself every turn.
Yeah, that's why I feel so. It felt so kind of like looking at my sheet earlier with like the 2 auto fails and all 40 of my lay on hands still in the bank. I felt so like stupid about that, but it's like 2 attacks versus lay on hands, where it's like lay on hands, she was doing like 40 damage to me per turn. So it's not like me taking that turn. It would have just been a waste of possible damage against her to heal myself with lay on hands, but felt wrong to be dead, but with 40 lay on hands.
I
Still,
mean,
still
in your
waiting.
defense, if you're dying, you would probably pee on yourself anyway. So
He isn't wrong.
right.
Also,
I mean, that's. I mean, come on, that's kind of true, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
That's why you shouldn't piss in the ocean, because the sharks will attack you then, because sharks attack because other fish pee themselves. That's a real thing, bro. Most shark attacks happen in the first few feet of water because people are peeing themselves and they mistake that for an animal who is afraid of them. That's why they attack.
We need to find a tabletop game that is Jaws. It's like Clue but with Jaws, where we all
Oh my
have to like
God.
try and
I'm
predict
so
where the
down.
shark will
Let's
be
do it.
next.
And I know we're
Called
recording. I don't
Battleship.
know that stat
But you
is
keep
true,
moving it.
but I have heard that. So, I mean, I don't know. Somebody might have told me that, and they might have been on drugs. So I don't
They
know.
told you
Well,
that because they heard that you pee in the ocean and they wanted you to stop. They're like, how can I get this guy to stop peeing?
I do have a problem peeing in large bodies of water, pools, oceans, lakes. Classic
Sean, we're
me.
recording,
I can't
Sean.
help it.
Sean, we're recording. This is now saved
This is-
forever.
It's a
I'm gonna
known fact. I
timestamp this.
can't
I'm gonna
help it.
timestamp
Oh,
Sean.
I'm gonna
the
add this to
ocean
your
rise
IMDb
there.
page.
There is it's either a South American or it's
He's
an
in large
African
bodies of
fish.
water.
It'll be in the trivia section.
And it will be cited to this video. It will have a citation,
Oh,
so
that'd be
Wikipedia will
so
have to let it
amazing.
stay.
I might add that to my IMDb myself just because I think it's pretty amazing.
So I think it's South America, but there is a fish that is attracted to urine and it will swim into your urethra.
I have heard
Oh,
that.
that's like what's the movie?
In
what's
the
movie?
Amazon, there's
Rock?
one that does that.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Rock. It's the Rundown. He's like, ain't no fish gonna swim into my pee too. You guys ever saw that?
Mhm.
No,
It sounds
Yeah,
familiar.
no, I read a book
Brazilian
called The
dude
Lost
whoop
City
his
of
ass.
Z, where they talk about a
Yeah,
fish.
he's like
Oh,
this
Lost
like,
City of Z. I want to read that.
giant deadly guy, and then he like loves to cook.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly right. And all these little Brazilian dudes beat his ass in the movie. It's fantastic.
Oh, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. I saw a
Rosario
VFX.
Dawson's in it. Rosario Dawson's the love interest. Is it Rosario Dawson? Yes.
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, but I saw
Definitely
someone
Rosario.
do like a stunt breakdown of that movie.
We gotta find it right now. Ain't nothing gonna swim into my pee too. I think that's what he says. So funny. I love The Rock. Rock's so good.
So we're leaving. So we're leaving the town.
Yeah, bro, we getting the fuck out of here. Like Greenest is done. It's a wrap. It's a cursed town. We gotta
Let's
get
pretend we never came. Let's.
Yeah.
So far as the official record is concerned, we were never here.
We might as
Who's
well
the
have just
dude?
gone to Baldur's Gate.
We might
Yeah,
as
we
well have just gone. We
yeah,
could
we
have been
could've
fucking
gone.
around. We could have been going to see one of Aramis's shitty melodramas.
Yeah.
What's Demetra's max hit points?
My max hit points are 56.
What the hell?
Really?
Is that high? Is that low?
That's really low, dude.
I'm at 61.
Yeah, well,
Have you been your rolls?
I have
Yeah,
no
I've been
idea.
rolling.
Have I not been rolling?
Oh,
I don't know.
that's why I
do you
just
have
stopped. I just started
do you
thinking
have
the
your
average.
HP set for fixed or for roll?
I think I have it set for fixed.
Okay, then you just pretty much get the average, which is
Yeah,
pretty bad
it's average. How is that bad? That's the middling of
because
that.
it's less than half.
It could be less than half.
Do you think your average students are good?
Mm.
Do you think your
Mhm.
average students are bad?
I'm on. Yeah, I'm
May-
being recorded.
Maybe you
I'm being
should say
recorded.
that since we're recording right now. I'm just
Put it in the chat.
yeah, put it
Put
in the chat.
Put it in the chat.
No.
They'll
I
never
plead-
know.
I plead the fifth. I have class tomorrow. That's the other thing that's gonna suck, because I have to get off. I forgot to say that because I also forgot I have class tomorrow at 9, so I am gonna have to not stay up till 2 a.m.
I'll make sure you don't.
Don't. Yeah.
I'll
so I
make
need
sure
to-
you make sure that you don't.
Okay, thank you.
I got death at 5, as always.
As always. So
I'm so glad Demetria didn't die.
me too. So far,
Could you imagine Robbie and Tempe crying in the woods?
I can.
Um,
I mean, that would be a really sad montage. But it's just that would not be very good.
this feels awful, but I was already like, okay, what do I do? How does Robbie react if they show up and Demetria's not with them?
I was already thinking what you were gonna do too. I was trying to chess player you. I'm like, anticipate his moves.
I mean, a
Before
zombie
he
Demetra
makes
could
it.
have been there.
I'm gonna come forward a little bit right now that I think if Demetria did die, Tempe would not be far behind. I don't know if he could handle that. You know what I mean? I think that he would.
Damn.
Do not
Damn.
orphan me a second time.
That's the problem. this is the problem. Like
You guys are
Tempe's
so
having a
emo,
really
isn't it?
hard time. He would have a
I'm
super
going
hard
to
time,
die.
man.
We need to run like a melodrama campaign.
Tippy
We need
just
to run a
cuts his
Shakespeare
own, like just
campaign.
stabs himself in the heart. Bro.
Well, no, I think he would have maybe not attacked
Just a-
Cyan, but like I think he would have probably made a mistake that could have proved
Yeah.
fatal, is what I'll say. You know what I mean? I think he could have.
But
He
you
could've
have
done
to
something
return
that
my
might have been
shield. You
different.
had a task. I gave you a task. If I die, you return the shield to the grave. So you would have had a task to do first before you go throwing yourself on your little short sword.
He first of all, it's a rapier. And
First of all,
I don't know what he would be doing, man. I don't know what he would be doing. I can't say. Thankfully, we don't have to cross that bridge, but there was
To
it
be
was
fair,
man,
if we were gonna do a depressing campaign of characters, I already got a solid character for that.
Oh man.
All right.
It's literally
Jameson
a
with his
skeleton
Rolodex.
who was raised by a little girl, and pretty much they would play in the woods together. And she said, "Wait here." Went back to town, got killed for being a necromancer, and so he's just been waiting in the woods
Oh.
for years.
if
No, I loved
somebody
Steven
loved me,
Universe.
or
Yeah,
when
it's Steven
somebody
Universe,
loved
the-
me. Oh no, it's from Toy Story 2.
Oh
with
no, because
Jesse.
I was thinking Steven Universe the movie.
Oh, fuck. I know what. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forget how the song goes.
Yeah, me too. There's 2 songs about it. It's Other Friends and whatever her solo was.
And so we will pick back up. I know we're taking a lot of breaks. It's been an interesting episode. A lot happening here between 2 separate groups. To save us some time, I think we all know how the conversation would go with Tarlo, seeing as he is not the bravest of men who was willing to turn his town over. I think the one thing he is a bit shocked is how easily you all have turned. Oh, Demetria. So he's just like, "Oh, well, you're leaving? What happened to this plan? Taking them on, a surprise on the dragon? Are there really no other options?"
Unless you have a lot of poison saved up somewhere we could slip into their food. I'm kind of tapped out at the moment.
listen, they seem to be diplomatic enough to where, and that was all happening at sunset. So now it's quickly kind of setting into the night, early part of the night, very, very early. These are moments after. You can still see you can still hear the, they don't seem to be a surround. They're kind of like, they're still out there. They've kind of been not on the full on assault, but they're now spreading out around, in and around the
Question,
town.
Malcolm, they're not making us leave. They said we can come to dinner, but they're not gonna stop us from
They
leaving.
did. They said that you almost like you're invited to be Cyan Rat's guests, but then you also have the situation where Ravi's out there in the middle of nowhere and no one knows what, you guys don't know what's going on with him. Now, as the moments tick on, Amnon, you are able to communicate with Axel, correct? Who?
Yes.
And okay. Tarlo, his idea of what he thinks is best is it's like he just tells you that he's willing to play nice with this group, but maybe you all are able to take this back to, you are Lords of the Alliance, maybe take this information back, see what can be done. Maybe you can bolster forces and bring them back. Maybe you can find out if this is happening in other towns. Please don't think of, I am no soldier, I am no warrior, but by all means am I. We do want to be saved and helped here. I know our people are out there. They can only stay so long in the forest.
Amnon's gonna walk over to him and I'm gonna look over to the group. I'm gonna be like, this is a really good idea.
I agree. I think we should try and find Ravi, see what we can do about this star, and then head back to Waterdeep as fast as we can to talk to the Lords of the Alliance. I'm just sorry that we couldn't do more.
We didn't know they had an army already.
Or how big that army was.
Yeah.
Leads
What
you
I'm
down.
what I'm wondering.
It's a
Not
small
that
force,
I'm-
but it's not a force that, maybe you all feel prepared to take on.
Because
Yeah.
my
It's
question,
not quite
Malcolm,
an army,
yeah.
because it's still only about 40 strong. It's a very small little group, but they've got a dragon. So that's just
I mean,
Because my question,
it's a
Malcolm,
platoon with a big weapon.
Yes.
yeah. Because Malcolm, my question was whether we think this army is going to stop us if we try and leave.
I imagine that you all are not very trusting.
Yeah.
Is this, is the House of Spirits group, are they taking this as a trick? Are they willing to actually stay and see what Cyan Wrath is about? Or
I
are they willing to
don't
move?
trust that they're going to not stop us, but I do want to write a note for Cyan Wrath
Okay.
and send that in lieu of my body to her bed. Send her my Hoodis to her bed.
Leave
I'll
her a
write
dildo.
up what I want to send to her, but I do
yeah.
want
So you,
to do that
hand
before
over.
we sneak out through the
Yeah.
tunnel. Because I think sneaking is our best bet.
yeah, a message written later, but we see you handing it over to Tarlo to give to the Lord of this group. He takes you down a flight of stairs and leads you to the basement, to this kind of very strong door. He fumbles through some iron keys and unshackles it, leading into another set of stairs that lead down into very kind of wet, dark, damp, almost like sewer stuff. He's like, take this. It will lead, you will exit outside of the town near the river. You can then circle back around, hopefully under the night, staying. I haven't heard the dragon flying, but I'm sure it will continue to patrol, and I'm sure it has keen eyes. But I hope you find your friends. I hope you run as fast and move far away from here as possible. And I hope you come back for us.
We will.
We will try this hold strong, and I will give this to the dragon cultist and leader. Godspeed be with you. May Shantia bless you.
Amnon's gonna walk up and put his hand out to shake his hand. And as he shakes his hand, he's gonna put his other hand over his, and I'm gonna be like, we will do everything we can, and we will come back. This is right now, you are on the forces of good and part of the Lord's alliance. Just stay alive. Okay?
We will.
Just stay alive. Keep everyone else alive. We will be back.
All right. And as you travel, it takes you maybe 20 minutes to make it across, maybe 20, 30 minutes traveling in this dark tunnel. All of you, and you exit on the outskirts of town. You can hear the trickling and the running water of the stream that is right outside there that lets you know that you have made it. You hear the snickering of rats here and there as you move through this tunnel. And as you exit there in the night sky and get a kind of breath of fresh air, you hear crackling, and from around above the bank of the ocean, the water, you see a muddy skeleton kind of, and they like looking around, kind of walking in circles.
Idle animation.
Yeah.
We gotta take this guy with us, right? Like he's gotta come with us.
Yep.
He definitely slows you down. I mean, I heard this, or can he? How long can he follow? Can they follow directions and just meet you there, or are you gonna follow at the speed of this? He's like he's
He
moving at
jogs
zombie
noisily
speed.
behind us.
It's a slow scraping, kind of one dragging of the leg, kind of walk to the skeleton.
I'll just de-animate it, throw it in a bag, and
All right.
You know, I was just gonna say that.
Do you all have big bags big enough to throw an entire skeleton in?
Rakulo's just 6
Extra
foot two,
plain arse.
hunched over,
All right. Yeah.
and weighs 220 pounds. He's a big lizard man.
Yeah. So he de-animates his skeleton and puts him in a bag, a briefcase, and walks off with him. And throughout the night, you wander. Can I get Axel starts to communicate what he has seen, and as you travel through the night, what you do notice is at some point you can see torches lit but heading back towards Greenus. As you are very far away, as you can see that there's a large group moving. Axel has communicated that Ravi has made it to the forest, but he is there with only one other.
He's there with what?
With only one other.
Okay.
The rest of the people are headed back to town.
We communicate back. Who else is there?
It is a child. A child.
Okay. And then okay, I would tell him to follow the villagers to meet with us.
Follow the villagers to meet.
So we he'll follow them because the villagers are coming towards us, right?
No. The
Oh, they
villagers are
are?
heading back to town. You are heading around the out. You guys probably don't want to stay unless you are saying you're going to walk through town.
No,
You're
we're
on
going out the back way, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry, I missed
Yeah.
that part then. Okay.
If you look at the map of Greenus, you guys had to come out south, and then you would probably have to go way out and
Yeah.
travel around.
Yeah.
Whereas the people are just coming beelining directly back.
Okay. Well, okay. You know what? Forget it then. I would just tell Axel that just to have everybody sit tight there, and we're coming to you. Okay.
Tell him to sit tight with the people,
No, just
or
with
to go where to Ravi.
I'm tell Ravi just to stay there with the
To
kid,
stay
and
there.
we're coming right now.
Okay. I'm going to take a look because the travel time for you all to get there would take some time. And so, Ravi, maybe this is something you can write up, but you survive not that just that night, but a whole nother day there in the forest. This forest seems, you get the feeling of enchantment, It reminds you of sometimes the feeling of the magical nature of the forest where the ritual of Selûne took place, but almost like it could be very closely connected to the Fae. The little girl seems to be mute. She never speaks, but she does seem to be playful. She smiles at you. She seems to kind of be taken, akin to you. The evenings are very unnerving, but not as much for you. Maybe it's for the girl. It doesn't seem as peaceful. It doesn't seem like Selûne's presence really watches. It feels like there's like chaotic spirits in this forest. Is what you feel so far. Can I have a perception check from you?
Yes.
And can I have a stealth check and a survival check for the other group?
Okay.
For everyone else.
Can I do can I shift to give myself the advantage?
Yes.
Press the stealth check. What was it?
Jeez.
Wait, the dog wants to play too.
Yeah.
You said it was perception for me?
Yes.
And then for us, what was it, Malcolm?
And for you
Stealth
all,
and
it was
survival.
Stealth and survival. You guys get advantage on just regular. Yeah, I'll give you advantage on stealth and then one survival.
Okay.
And then 26 for me.
Survival, kind of a tracking based. 26. Okay. Everyone else, let's see. Okay, advantage 21 stealth, Demetria. Or with disadvantage, Demetria. Would it have been disadvantage?
With the armor, it's at disadvantage, but since you gave us advantage, it's a straight roll, and my
straight roll.
higher.
Got it.
It's so funny that because of her criminal background, she's proficient in stealth, and I have a good bonus
but
to
she's
it.
wearing
But it's a disadvantage. Clothes make the man. The clothes make the man.
And
Tempe did a dirty 20, and survival was an 8.
Okay. And so by the next evening, nothing happens. You don't find from those rolls. No one tracks you. No one follows you throughout the night. Ravi, on the first night of kind of camping with the little girl, and you can decide maybe what that was like, or if you talk to her, you can kind of get yourself to speed on what that, if any other extra you want to add to it. But you do get the feeling of being watched, and you do catch the scent of the sense of multiple scents of different type of animals. At one point you come across the tracks of a bear, boar, but you definitely know wolves are nearby and maybe even watching you, though you never seem to be able to catch them. And on the beginning of that evening, that second evening, the party finally makes it to your spot, which has been you find like a little pond, like a little watering hole, like in the middle, like in this clearing in the woods, and the party finds you there, and together you are all back together. And I'll let you all kind of role play if you wish.
Yeah, I'd probably turn to the little girl, and just be like, my friends, they're here.
She looks kind of scared, timid, having seen so much in the past
It's okay.
day or two.
Do you want to wait here while I get them?
She kind of gives a nod.
Okay. I'll go find everybody.
Ravi sees Demetria still bloodied, or at least blood-stained, scraped up armor, looking like she's been through it. As soon as she sees Ravi, she was like walking forward, kind of despondently, maybe leaning on Tempe. But as soon as she sees as soon as she sees Ravi, the other one, as soon as she sees the other one, as soon as she sees Ravi, she like kind of tries to pull her shoulders back and speeds up her walk a little bit until she's kind of sort of jogging towards him at a clip.
Spoken like a true mother, Cheryl.
Yep.
So things go as well for you as they did for me.
Things got dicey there for a second. Not gonna lie. And she just kind of crushes him into a hug, more for her sake than for his sake. She crushes him in a hug that gets a little clingy after a second before she pulls back and is like, sorry, got blood on you. Sorry.
It's okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are okay. So
What's up with the girl?
right, I don't know for sure. But I think she might have something to do with that star that fell.
What do you mean?
Oh, and I'm like whispering this to them. One of the women from the town had her, and apparently she wasn't able to have kids, and there was no record of her ever having a child. And things got a little tense while we were out here, and she displayed some power. And I don't know, there's this kind of like chaotic magic within her, but she's incredibly powerful.
How far away is the kid?
Wherever Ravi left.
Yeah, probably
maybe
not too
30,
far.
40 feet.
And we
Not
can
too
see
far.
her?
Yeah.
She's kind of standing there looking. Suddenly, like little fireflies are like dancing around, and she's like trying to like jump up and like swat
Happy's
them.
examining Ravi. He's like stretching his arm out. He's like checking to make sure he's okay.
I would like to use my divine sense. One of the last remaining things I have.
And then
Good, evil, celestial. Hit me with that information, Malcolm.
And the strangest thing happens when you do that. The feedback is strange. It's off the charts. It's almost like a radio frequency that will not settle on a station. It is just strange, unsettling mood. It is not necessarily fiend, but it's not necessarily celestial. It is not good or evil. It is just where your magic centers on this child. It's almost like white noise or nothing there. There's
Demetra, I
just
think
nothing there. You're getting more feedback from the trees than you do this child.
I think she might just be pure unbridled magic.
Is she friendly?
She's been lovely, aside from
Let's go.
from
Yeah.
We've dealt with demons, we've dealt with cultists, we've dealt with nobles. Now we have to deal with literally just a child.
So yeah. So Amnon is then gonna look at the child, and he's gonna walk, just not completely up to the kid, but like, walk forward to distinguish himself to the kid.
Mhm.
And he's just gonna kneel down a little bit, and then my Elric cannon will pop up off my shoulder and scurry down, and it's just, I'm gonna have it just start dancing a little in front of me, and I'm gonna use my magic to like make it a little playful and stuff. Be like,
Nice.
hey, and I'm gonna look at it like, how's it going? Do you want to check out my robot?
She kind of like sneakers and runs away from Amnon, like towards Ravi, and like grabs Ravi's leg and stands. And then
okay,
the
it's
more he
okay.
like shows it, like she kind of comes out, and then she kind of gets a little closer, and then she starts to kind of toy with the.
So then as she's playing with the robot, I'm gonna be like, how you feeling? Can you talk?
And as you say that, I turn to Tempe and I'm gonna be like, actually, I was kind of brought you up. Maybe you might be able to help her out. I know you have your ways of signing.
Tempe touches Robbie's face and then goes and kneels down in front of the girl.
And like, this is my friend Tempe, the one I was telling you about.
When he kneels down on one knee, and he kind of puts his he touches his forehead and then touches his chest.
She kind of tries to do it.
She mimics him.
She mimics him.
If she's gonna mimic him, then he takes her hand and he puts his hand out and he kind of traces like a circle in it, and then looks like he gives himself a hug a little bit.
And so she tries to do, he does like the hug to himself, like she tries to mimic. She mimics, and then when he kind of mimics that, she grabs Robbie's leg again. And then her eyes go really, really big. Robbie can have a advantage perception check.
Oh yeah. 28.
So
Malcolm, I sent you a
Robbie's
DM.
ears like perk and her eyes get really wide. Look at Tippy, and she looks like in direction. She goes, shows all her teeth, and her eyes kind of glow again. And like the Robbie can like hear them moving as these wolves perched on humanoid wolves, full, big, large werewolves, yellow eyes, looking at all of them, 4 of them, 2 on one side, 2 on the other. Does Ravi speak any particular lycanthrope or anything like that? Because I mean,
I don't think there's like a
There isn't
lycanthrope
really- yeah, there isn't
language, but
really
I
a
do speak
language.
Druidic and Elvish.
he speaks Elvish. One of them kind of snarls, the one that kind of seems to be pack leader, looking at, sniffing. Oh, God. Says some things, and it sounds. Can I get a history check from Robbie?
Only Robbie.
I'll take one from everyone, but I'll
Oh,
take
I don't know
everybody.
any
I'll take
history.
everybody else.
History?
That who else speaks? Does anybody speak Druid and Elvish?
No, neither.
Does only Robbie see the wolves?
Oh no, you all see them now. It's
Is
just
it bad to ask for maybe an animal handling check instead? Is that rude? Is that bad?
I'm gonna say I don't think that's gonna work because these clearly
They're
aren't
people,
just animals.
Demetria, that's so rude.
Amnon is gonna try something actually. He's gonna telepathically try and just tell the wolf saying, we don't want any trouble. If you come closer, we will defend ourselves. What do you guys want?
When she turns away from Tempe when she's talking to her, and he sees the wolves, he's going to stand up and draw his weapon as if to protect the child, to kind of like step between, so he would be back to back almost with Robbie, with the child in between almost.
Okay, because this is all happening within seconds. So Ravi had like a 26 on his perception check. You all are kind of surprised and trying to make these reactions. So I need, even though you now know they're there, I need perception checks from all of you based on what you're telling me you're going to try to do to see if it is enough time to react before they do. Because they fire this off really quick at Ravi. First, also need what your history check was.
6.
Okay, so Ravi, this sounds like, it kind of sounds like Elvish, and it kind of sounds real, but it doesn't sound like they're making any kind of like actual sense to you. But it sounds like certain accents and things sound like it could be those languages, but very guttural and also almost like coming out of a beast. And they also don't have your kind of like, your look is kind of very mild in transformation. These are full on, almost like upper halves of dogs. Like they could lean over and literally run on all fours and stand up, and you can see how like ripped their bodies are where the hair is not there. Perception checks from everyone else.
16.
All right.
About 15.
15.
17.
All right.
20.
20. And so as you are even doing, it's like as you're doing those things, one of them leaps off of a rock onto Robbie, and you hear like a like come out of them both as they kind of roll across the ground and begin to tussle. Roll initiative. As the little girl, she's like, looks like she could be screaming Tempe, but nothing's coming out. Initiative.
Did you see my DM, Malcolm?
Let me take a look.
I got a dirty 20.
I rolled a 1. I got 3.
21.
12.
I don't see it. Can you send the word? Oh, okay. I see it now.
Yeah. That was when we first entered the area.
Got it. I'll decide if you get an answer shortly.
I'm guessing we got 0 rest before now.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, because I think the party would have just marched, like full on, like kept going. There would have
I
been no
gave you
time.
I gave you the 20 points
Yeah.
for my lay on hands, so you're at least up whatever you got healed from Amnon. plus-
Robbie has full rest, but yeah, everyone else. I think it's just.
but he's also got a
Hey.
wolf on top of him, so
yeah.
It's more for spell slots.
yeah, I'm totally out of those. No spell slots. Yay.
Oh fuck, they're werewolves. Shit. Okay.
You're just-
I'm just like shit. They have immunity to basically everything.
Maybe we can reason with them.
Oh, we're gonna have to.
Tempe's about to lose his motherfucking mind right now.
Tempe is like, I'm sick of this shit. Let's
He
go back.
is-
Let's open our
he
restaurant.
is
Let's
so
leave this
done.
to other heroes.
He wants to go back to the fucking house. He don't want to have anything to do with ever.
I was
leaving
gonna
that-
say, when I thought I was gonna die, I was totally gonna torture you, Sean, with inevitably when we go back to the House of Spirits, Tempe having to open the door to the room he shared with Demetria, and Demetria wasn't there with him.
bro, and it would still be all like fucked up and shit.
Her stuff's there, yeah. It's all a mess on her
Oh, no.
side of the room.
Yeah.
She left like some dirty chonies hanging on like one of the shelf.
All hands of 15. M9 15.
I tried to let's say the experiment to try and Boilermaker this is not good.
16.
Is that the child?
Behind Malcolm or the figurine.
The little figurine.
No.
Is that Baby Yoda?
Yeah, I don't really have a
Natural.
child miniature. It's not a great miniature for the child, but it's gonna have to stand in for the
I
night.
hope we get to take this kid home with us. 'Cause Tempe really wants to have a little kid now. Add to his
Tempe's got
family.
that baby fever. He's
Yeah.
like, Robbie's all grown up. He
Right.
doesn't need me anymore.
That's exactly right.
So that first wolf attacks with a. It's gonna get its attack now. Doesn't it's still its whole turn, just doing it now. So it's not a surprise attack, but it is a 23 to hit, and a
I just realized that Cyan Wrath lowered my max hit points. So, and
Oh,
she,
shit.
so I actually can't get healed any more than I currently am.
and 8 points of piercing damage. You don't need to make the con save, and strikes with its claw. 23 for why am I wrong? For 6 points of slashing damage as we move to the top as Rakalesh is up, as you see them tussling.
I'm gonna cast or run up to the one that's tackling Ravi because it's the closest one to me, and cast Vampiric Touch. For a nat 20, so that'll be 66 necrotic.
D6 necrotic.
20 damage.
Is that howls out, taking the 20 damage,
Then I heal
and like
10.
tumbles off of him. and then you what? Oh yeah, you
Wait.
get that life, right?
Wait, did that kill it?
No,
Or bring? Nope.
it did not.
Alright, bonus action. I'm gonna use my Hungry Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
So just make a basic bite attack at it. Does a 17 hit?
17 will hit it. This is a regular bite attack,
Yep.
Okay.
So that'll just be 6 regular slashing.
and so you start to realize as you like you tear a huge chunk out of its fur, and as you're tearing it out, like the skin is like reconnecting as the blood is flying out. So as you're clawing at it, there's patches of skin and blood that are as it's mending.
That's fine. I still get the temporary hit points.
Yep. And Raklesh is attacking it. Ravi, you're right behind him with 19, right? So he was 21, you're 19. So you're able to like spring up. I won't even treat you as being downed. So
Oh,
you're
I think
not like.
I think Tempe got a dirty 20, so I think he goes right before me.
Oh, why did I put?
Yeah.
I put Tempe as 16 for some reason. Tempe, you are up, and you are right over here.
Everything. Where am I?
You're right there. You're always that red, like you're always like the red base.
How far is this? Oh, I gotta move up.
How far is who? So just know you've got the one that's attacking him. You've got one right behind you. You got one over there and then one over there. There's 4 of them.
Okay. I can't reach the one behind me though because it's up high, right?
You could. He's about 10 feet up. Unless you, I mean, you could maybe leap attack. It would be. I'll give it to you if you attack him. It will be a disadvantage. He'd have the high ground. You just
Okay,
I'll just make it a
I'm gonna-
disadvantage to strike. That's all.
I'm gonna try to attack him.
You're nimble, right? I imagine you kind of like leap forward through the
Yeah.
air. Yeah,
That's a dirty 20.
that hits. And with the disadvantage. All right.
Oh, not disadvantage, not disadvantage.
Oh yeah,
Sorry. 18?
that hits.
Nine damage.
All right. What kind of? And this is your regular blade, right?
Yeah, it's just my scimitar. I'm just
So
like
you just leap through the air, that scimitar, and as you just kind of thrust it outward, and it goes right through the thing's jaw, through the tongue hanging halfway at its mouth, right up to the top of the head, and then like swings, and you kind of fling out of it, land on the ground, waiting for it to collapse over, and you see it grab its jaw like this and kind of shove it back into place and lock it up, and look back down on you with those beady eyes.
I'm gonna hit it again.
Nice timing.
That's my man.
That's a 21 to hit.
Nice. I like it so much. I want you to give me it's not really a religion check like any particular god kind of thing. I just want you to give me a religion check.
An agnostic check.
It's a dirty 20
Mythos
for
check.
a religion check
Uh-huh.
and 13 damage.
13 damage. So this time is where do you try to cut this thing this time?
I'm gonna go back the other way. I'm gonna come
All
up.
right.
I'm fucking tired of everybody's shit. I'm just like fucking werewolf.
Tempe has had it. Tempe has had it.
Pika is all over my ass. I'm fucking this werewolf up right now. I'm trying to fuck this werewolf up.
We have finally found Tempe's edge. We have found it.
There's this slight, he doesn't show up or anything, but there's this weird kind of, you kind of feel like you're channeling being around him, some of that Killjourn essence, and for a second they're almost like fireflies. There's a little bit of that glow, and that cut connects across the chest and lingers and stays. And the creature like lurches back and grabs it and looks and is confused and kind of growls. You got anything else?
Yeah, I'm gonna superiority die, and I'm gonna launch a fucking dagger and try to smash her right in the face.
All right, go ahead.
All right, let's see. This is gonna be
My boy.
has to hit. Hold on.
Our boy.
Nah, not right now.
19.
19 hits. Dagger slams right into its eye. It staggers back.
7 damage.
This time, kind of, it pulls the dagger out and looks down at you, like bleeding, a bunch of like blood coming out. And as it's standing there, kind of looking like it's about to leap off, you can see the eye repairing and like kind of pus and putting itself back together. And that one blinks, as that clearly didn't work like the last one.
I'm so tired of this fucking work.
Does that end?
That ends Tempe's turn. He's tired right now. He's breathing a little heavy.
Ravi, you are up.
I'm just going to. I will display like my necklace and just be like, listen. And I'm saying this in Druidic. And say, I know you have us. I know you have us beaten. We're not a match for you. Just tell us what you want, and we'll figure something out.
I'm not saying this could not work, but what it is you're screaming kind of into the void while this thing is fighting Rakalish, right? It's like it's all happening, and so it doesn't like stop to like, unlike some, villains will stop and listen to you, and so you're hoping it kind of gets through. So you, regardless of what you roll on this persuasion check, you know that even if you succeed, it's not going to stop in the next few seconds. Does that makes sense?
Can I do that while also casting Moonbeam?
Sure.
I agree. I'm gonna cast. I'll cast a 3rd level Moonbeam.
Okay. And who are you putting it on?
I'm gonna put it on the one that's fighting Rakalish.
All right. It's a 5 foot, right? Or is it 10?
It's a 5 foot radius.
Yep.
I love Moonbeam. I love Moonbeam.
So it spotlights this creature.
God, it's only a con 14.
And you're able to deliver the damage on its turn, correct? Or after?
I believe. Let's see. It takes it the first time it enters on a turn or starts its turn there.
Starts its turn there. Okay.
It turns into
So-
a super werewolf.
Yeah, so I think when it first goes in, it does also take the damage, and then each additional time when it starts its turn there.
Okay, so you are giving it damage to it right now.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Is it weird that I love that? I know this fight isn't going our way, but I love that it's all of us fighting and not just one person. Is that weird? I enjoy that.
No, we're all in it together.
Yeah, this feels nice. I know it's not going our way, but it still feels nice.
It feels real good after like the
fucking
last
God.
7 hours of gameplay where it was just you.
This is nice. I enjoy this. This is fun. I haven't been hit yet. This is nice.
Have you turned also, Robbie, or you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll make sure you're here. And the little girl kind of like runs to like this broken tree stump. Tries to take up some cowers behind it. She's kind of like breathing really hard. What was the damage? I don't think I got it.
I rolled 6 damage.
Okay, takes it. Okay. The
6
light
radiant. So,
hits it.
Love some radiant damage in this.
Kind of like you see the back kind of starting to steam as the light pours over the beast. Amnon, you're up.
Okay, so
You also sorry to cut you off there. You didn't give me the persuasion check since you called out like stop this madness. Yeah.
5.
Okay. So it seems like it didn't even hear you. It was just mayhem. The other ones in the back, they're like chittering, making a lot of noise here in the woods. Under this like weird kind of pale moonlight, and then we are in Amnon. So
okay, I will Amnon is just gonna be pissed, and he's gonna look over at the werewolf in the back.
Mm-hmm. This one.
And the one in the center. How high up is he?
He's about. I mean, he's only at an angle about 40 feet away from you.
So, okay, yeah. So Amnon's just gonna eye that werewolf, and he's just gonna have this like wolf grin on himself. And then he's gonna start using his magic to start to fade his appearance to look more devilly in a way.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna walk. He's gonna start walking up to the werewolf. He's gonna pull out his blasting rod, charge that, and he's gonna. And then the Elric cannon's gonna pop up on the shoulder and just get ready. Once Amnon is within 20 feet of the werewolf. He's gonna Amnon's gonna activate darkness,
Okay.
and then let me see here. Oh yeah, and then I'm gonna use my bonus action to fire the Eldritch Cannon at him.
Okay. Blast was out.
So let me roll for that.
Does it count as magic or no?
It is magical, yeah. Oh, it's a Dex 13 save.
You will fail.
Okay. That's 12 damage of force damage, and he gets pushed back 5 feet.
He pretty much can't go anywhere. There's like a wall of rock right behind him, so he just kind of boom, slams against it, drops down to his knees. And you notice he's wearing like bits of kind of haggard leather and bone armor on this one.
And then that would complete my turn.
All right. Good stuff. You guys are. And so at that moment, the werewolf fighting Rakalesh, I imagine takes another moonbeam, but will pivot and move outside of it, repositioning himself around this way, and will attack
For 17 damage.
All right. Sizzling as he leaps over you both, looking badly burned. Kind of in that old school 80s way, if he was animatronic, he would turn and half his face would be like boiling and like melting off. And will strike with a claw towards Robbie. 21
That hits.
or okay, for 6 points of slashing damage. And then as he slashes away, pushing back Ravi, he then reaches in to bite at Rakalesh for 16.
Doesn't hit.
Doesn't hit. And then as he attacks, that ends his turn. This one leaps down. Before he actually attacks from above, but he's going to leap down and end his turn down here, right next to Robbie. So he will take the advantage from the high ground. He's not going to hit you for a 12. Roll really low, missing it as Ravi, as Rob said, Ravi, as Tempe is able to.
It's not just me. It's not just me.
Yeah, sorry, I said Ravi.
Your name's
Tempe's able to like dance out of the way of this attack from this werewolf here as he leaps over his head and strikes. Doesn't get anything there. The two.
Tempe dodges out of the way because he's like a beautiful dancer.
And by the way, like actually, I know I didn't put it there on the board because this was kind of makeshift, but there is a. Technically, you're about Amnon is about knee deep in this like little pondy like water, and so you're kind of like splashing through water as these two rush towards you, and the one kind of walking, poking forward, and they both attack. 2 claw. Guys are bad, and another claw
because of the darkness.
Okay,
Can they see my darkness?
they cannot. So let's see the second attack. Disadvantage. All right, so they all miss you. Swinging there in the dark. This puts us at Demetria.
So how does because it's like, how are we looking? How do the werewolves look like? Sort of surveying, I'm kind of standing a little separate from everyone. What's the lay of the land for both parties?
The only one that looks really, really rough right now is this one.
Okay. And he looks really, really rough.
He looks bloody. Looks haggard and beaten.
And what's the distance between, because I'm there in the middle. What's the radius?
You're about 10 feet from this one, and you're about 10 feet from that one. You're like the same distance to rush.
Perfect.
And then you're about 30 feet from there's some distance. There's some as you wade into the water, it would be a difficult terrain, but so
is it possible, this is a mathematics question, is it possible to get within 15 feet of all parties? So that I can sort of hit, if I had something that had a 15-foot radius, could I get everyone within that 15-foot radius?
You could do it over here and get all these three, or you could do it over here and get two. So if you wade into the water, you could get three of them.
Do the latter.
I can get three of them. I can get all three groups.
You could get not all all groups of your friends. You're trying to.
I mean, because it looks like there's the three sort of fighting groups. There's Tempe and his dude.
You want to get the groups. I thought you were trying to get werewolves.
No, groups. I want to get as many groups as possible within. Is it possible to get all of them within 15, or can I just get those two that are?
You can, but it's only select. Depending on that. That 15 feet is only gonna get certain people. So like the 15 foot, if you stood there, right, would get Robbie in it. It would get this bad guy in it, and then it would
get them.
Are you trying to do damage or are you trying to bolster?
I'm trying to force a parlay because I have precisely one thing left. And it's the spell Darkness, which is a 15-foot radius centered on whatever I cast it on. I want to cast it on my mace, and then I want to try and get as many chunks of people as possible within the magical darkness. So I'll do that. Well,
it might make sense to get that group because you get a little bit of this group. He's really weak. You get that entire group in darkness.
Okay, I'll leave the weak guy can be left out, but I want to get everyone that's still hale and hearty. I want to lift up my disruptor mace, and I want to cast darkness, and then thaumaturgy, which I think is mine. Is it thaumaturgy or prestidigitation? Thaumaturgy is my cantrip that I get, and then I'm going to thaumaturgy my voice, booming out. I only speak common, so hopefully they know common, and I'm going to boom out in common. Enough!
So
we don't need to be enemies. Let us speak as equals and spare much suffering for all.
I know the darkness automatically takes effect.
It's blinding. Even people with dark vision can't see through it. It's magical darkness. Yep. Dark vision doesn't work. It might kill Lex's moonbeam.
I have an intimidation check. At advantage.
At advantage. Yes, sir. Oh! Okay, what's my bonus? I know I have a bonus to this. Intimidation. 24.
Okay. And so suddenly as all this magical darkness floods, and you hear this with something yelling out, all of them begin to dart off into the bushes. If you have opportunity of attacks, you can take them if you have reactions, but they turn tail, including the one that's quite bloody, and they scatter, running on all fours as fast as they can.
I'll take it. I'll mark that in the W column.
I'm taking that attack of opportunity.
All right. Tempe's not going to attack if that werewolf goes to run.
Dirty 20. And
all right, that hits.
And because I took what was it? Warcaster, that's the one.
What does that do?
concentrating on vampiric touch, I can do that as a reaction.
Got it.
13
And
necrotic.
that is magical, necrotic. Okay.
Yep.
And so you're going for is it a bite or claw? What is it?
Claw.
Claw.
I can
as
do
you go-
vampiric touch with my mouth. That'd be great.
Yeah, you latch onto him with that bite, and he pulls so hard he jostles the tendon loose, and his entire arm you just kind of rip it right off at the elbow, and it yelps out and rushes away, and you have its arm. It is like deathly hurt, holding on as it skippers away. You can hear them all kind of turning tail, literally, and like yelping as they rush away.
Well, there's dinner.
I don't know if you should eat that.
After a moment, making sure they're not coming back, I'll drop darkness.
Yeah, same here.
Well, no one's ever beat the werewolves like that except for me. And you all kind of turn, and there, standing on the rock right in front of you, is this big bear.
Cute.
And then he slowly
Cute.
like,
Love
drops
him.
down, stands up on his hands. Hello. Don't be so shocked. Werebears exist too.
God, if I wasn't a
I'm Gummy. Who are you?
We're the left hand. Are you?
Oh, the left hand. I've got a left paw and a right one. He kind of chuckles and he goes, "Well, I just came to get a few fish. Don't mind me." He kind of starts swiping around, and but what do you all do? Is I don't know, as this moment comes down here.
Yeah.
First things first, I'm gonna go get the child.
She seems to be. She kind of comes
Yeah,
out.
I
Rushes
would be
back to you.
concerned with the child too. Like I want to make sure the kid's okay.
I'm distracted by the bear.
I
don't know
wish
that
I could
the
be.
kid's a demon. I don't know that the kid's a demon yet. I just think it's a cute little kid. So
Amnon will see that they're going for the kid, and we'll back up Demetra. Oh, the gun will
I'm
be.
not taking a break, but 1 second. I need to step away real quick. Be right back.
Okay.
And Rakalish is eating that werewolf arm.
Oh God.
Shout. Was she like the wet?
That's the question. Do you get the curse from eating
we
No,
get-
like, you
flesh?
get the curse from eating them?
Yeah, but
Oh my God!
what
Is the little bear wearing
information-
shorts? Oh my
He's a
God!
big bear. He is wearing shorts though.
I love this bear. I love this bear.
Fuck. If Bo was here, it'd be all over.
Hey, dude, maybe you can like become a werebear, and then you can frolic with
I love bears.
Bobby as a werebear.
That would be awesome.
Rakalish need to assert dominance of he is the alpha predator.
So I'm pretty sure that Tempest's gonna need to buy some new swords when you get to town. You need something magical like that.
We
We
something
need
magical or
silver. It
Yeah,
Bro,
silver.
needs to be silvered.
1000%. He don't got a magical nothing about nothing, bro.
that
That's what I mean.
is still. I want to say that's like one of my top Tempe moments in the campaign so far. Is that it's like Tempe when we were at that party. Tempe here doing this now, destroying that werewolf because he has had it because he's at the end of his rope. Top Tempe moments for sure.
Yeah.
He has this magic shit is not for him.
It was like Malcolm was like, "So your thing does no damage." I hit him again.
Yeah, that was great.
That's all he knows how to do.
When all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah, man.
When all you have is a rapier, not a short sword, a rapier. I've been told today. I learned today.
That's right.
When
That's
all you
right.
have is a rapier.
Didn't
And
stop him
it's
from calling
very
it a
ornate.
scimitar earlier.
Is it a scimitar?
He said he attacked with a scimitar earlier, so now I'm confused.
Hold on. No, I'm
We
pretty
can
sure.
watch the recording. You said rapier, and then you've also said scimitar.
Did I in the same night? I could be.
Yep.
Wow.
No, it's a scimitar.
There wasn't even a
Wow.
rapier in the first
Wow.
place.
But in the drawing, it's a rapier.
In the drawing, it's a rapier.
The only difference
what?
is one deals slashing, one deals piercing.
Mm, nah.
It's a really sharp sword.
Kind of a huge
It's a
difference.
pointy sword.
One's for
Pointy sharp
beheading
sword.
and one's for thrusting through, snagging them through. So yeah, you gotta.
One's for killing Demetria. The other one is for killing
Yeah.
werewolves.
Oh, don't mind the Larkin. Him and his wolves don't like anyone around here. No one like you really comes in here. If they do, they get eaten. The ghosts
Demetria is
tend
thinking
to
of the crowd
wander.
of people that are possibly still in here.
Don't worry, I'm not big on mortal, humanoid flesh. Try
Sorry,
to stay away
I,
from it. It's not
I missed
good.
I missed your name on the first run through. I'm Demetria.
Gumi. He
Gumi.
kind of puts out a big paw.
She puts her. She's not a small girl, but
No,
she
both of you
puts her
pretty
comparatively
big.
small hand into his giant paw.
Um,
I'm gonna leave the girl with Tempe, and I want to come over to this bear.
I will
looks.
lovingly hang out with this little kid.
Teach her some signs while we talk to this new friend.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
oh, got a little one. Which
Um,
one of you is the mama and papa?
Oh.
Tempe stands in front of the kid.
Oh,
Well, my name's. Oh, he just leaves.
he didn't leave. I was
Oh,
bringing
okay.
him closer so you can see him.
Robbie's like, and then just a big block of fur passes in front of him in frame.
They're not around anymore. But this is my family. My name's Ravi, and I go out to shake his hand.
He shakes and goes, oh, fortunately, I don't have too much family, but it's a decent life. Eat, sleep, hibernate, and I like to best the werewolves from time to time. But I'm pretty cool. You should watch out for Katar. He is the... I can't stand him. That werebore is the worst. Constantly rushes into my hide when I'm down here just trying to get a fresh drink. But sorry if I was being a bit meddlesome, but I heard the back and forth and couldn't help but show up.
You have no idea how much a friendly face means these days.
So are you just passing through?
I just kind of like look at everyone. I think so. I don't really know. I don't think we necessarily have a direction we're heading in right now, but
Maybe back to Waterdeep at least. We definitely need to.
It's a
you
big
been there?
city. I've never been to Waterdeep. Always wanted to go. I traveled the lands. The farthest I ever got away from home was probably maybe 60 miles before being bitten in this forest. But I kind of liked it. I was, and that time I kind of was a bit of a ranger. I like to be out here in the woods. It's my
there's
place.
nothing else like it.
Yeah. And he kind of scratches himself and just kind of plops down on the ground, looking up at the stars. It's peaceful out here. I find it better than any old big city or town. You all seem
Less
strange to see a
shakily.
big talking bear and you're traveling with a big talking lizard.
Yeah,
Like
we
a short
have.
once
I
in a
think
while.
we're fully saturated on seeing weird things on these travels. I think there's much that'll surprise us anymore.
That's why I decided I liked the forest. I decided to stop traveling. The world was getting stranger the farther I went. This is as strange as I'd like it to be. And at that moment, the little girl is kind of like shivering under the cold. You all have been traveling, so if you were to move anywhere tonight, you're probably looking at testing for exhaustion at this point.
Let's pass out.
What are their plans? Yeah, so they
Let's
keep-
conk out.
I would give my cloak to the
Yeah.
to keep her warm, and then
I was taking off whatever I got and wrapping.
Although Demetra is worried because now we know that there's a bunch of werewolves and a
Yeah.
wereboar in this forest, along with approximately 70 surviving villagers that Cyan Wrath said to send back to her, which I wasn't going to plan. I wasn't planning on doing in the first place. I was planning on telling them what's going on and letting them choose whether they go back or not. But Demetria's too tired to press the issue, but she's concerned about that. Maybe she'll express that to our new friend.
Would Lex say what he saw?
I pretty much glossed over the details.
Demetria will voice to Ravi, like, Rav, don't you think with all those, I know that this forest is dangerous, but with those werewolves out for blood right now, do you think maybe we want to take our new friends, see if we can find everyone else, regroup?
Everyone else?
Flashback into that dragon coming down, swooping.
Demetra, there is no one
You're
everyone
watching
else. That blue dragon came by and ushered everyone back to town.
Demetria's like,
Cyan
I have my
Wrath.
glasses, so I can't, but okay. All right. Okay.
That's why we were chuckling.
That's why you were chuckling.
Well, we were chuckling.
Robbie's
'cause Malcolm-
response.
You're both evil.
Robbie
You're both
says,
so evil.
Robbie sits back. Bye, people.
Well, Malcolm says me this thing. He's like, she's hurting all the people. You happen to have been not seen with the child. What do you do? And I'm just like, bye.
Ravi with his little opera glasses, watching them all get herded back to green.
Devastating.
Oh.
I feel bad for the mom or like the child.
I feel bad for that
Like,
one.
And those
That
were the
one
torches
lady.
that you saw, like kind of from
yeah.
a distance. The people going kind of back
Damn
to
it.
town.
Yeah. God damn it.
Um,
Demetria looks stricken. Demetria looks conflicted, but she's so tired that she like clearly
Yeah.
just lets it go and like lays down without another word to just pass it.
Well,
Don't
before-
worry, I'll help you watch. They won't come back.
Tempe looks at Ravi.
Insight. I knew it
Yeah,
was
real
coming to
quick,
me. I knew it was coming to
real
Demetria.
Before I go to sleep, she cracks open an eye. She cracks open one eye to look at him when he says that.
actually, Amnon,
15. I got a 15 on the inside check.
Okay.
I don't
He
know what
appears to
Amnon's
be
doing.
honest, and he looks at you, Demetria, and goes, "You're welcome to stay up, and anyone can take watch with me. If you
I
don't
want to
trust
sit
me."
with him. Not because I don't trust him. I
yeah,
just want
me
to talk to him.
too.
I confirm with Ravi we protect the child, right?
Absolutely.
Where will they take? What
Can
will
I
they
take
do
the
with this
child
child?
with me?
Where's the? These are some of the things as we get closer to the end of this episode. Is
It's
where,
a long
I will-
journey, but isn't Silverhands like a top wizard, like a top arcanist? And she's our boss, so it seems reasonable to
Yeah.
take her to Silverhands, right?
I will say, can I have
Yes.
We're not going to make it out of there tonight. Tonight, though.
No,
right?
we were just talking about
you know what
the
I
journey
mean?
of the road tomorrow. Where will you go? Will you head back to Waterdeep?
Right.
Can I have an insight check from everyone?
I got a 15.
Big 3. Back to the 3s.
Who got 25?
23.
23 and 25, Rakalish. And then what, Dimitri? 23. 3. Okay.
Not a 20, no, a 3.
A 3.
I did an 8.
So Rakalesh, and Ravi have both been, Ravi, you're not orphaned, but you know what it's like to be on your own. You know what it's like to feel that. Rakalesh, you went to the one thing since this child, Ravi knows more than anybody that this mother, the Lennon, Swift, she seems to really love the child, but he wonders if it's safe to bring her back into the town, or is it better to, if the road is going to be arduous and long, do you take her back to Silverhands? Maybe do you take her to do you take her to an orphanage in a well-established city? On the way home there, El Terrell, Racklish would also know, Ravi's also thinking El Terrell is close by. Baldur's Gate is not the greatest city, but it's nearby.
You put her into Aramis'
is not really known for taking people. Yeah. So there are places that are closer if you would think about maybe, if I guess it depends on if they think if the best is to offload this child, or do they plan to keep this child close?
I think until we know what she
away.
Yeah. I feel like
I'm just asking. There's only just one option though.
I feel like at very least until we know what this child is, I think the best thing is to keep her close.
Yeah, this is our kid for now, for sure.
If that turns into forever, who knows?
Yeah, we're okay with that.
I already sent my DM. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Does Racklish want to eat the child?
No.
What does chaos magic taste like?
I think
I
we
was
should
gonna
take
ask
the
that
kid
about
to
my
Silverhands.
insight check of what does this child smell like, but didn't want to sound too creepy.
It smells like the child. She smells like ozone, and
We all die of asphyxiation.
All right, I'm gonna reply to you.
I vote we take her to Silverhands. I don't think we give her up. I think we take her to Silverhands.
I think we should try to figure out what she is before we take her to
On the
Silverhands.
way, it's a 2-week journey.
Spend some time hanging out and getting to know her.
Yeah, get to know her. Ask what she like. Play jacks with her.
Tempe's already all in on the kid. Wild about the kid.
Tempe
Collecting
is
sentient beings.
Yeah, he loves them.
Now, how soon does Ravi go from protective to jealous older brother of the new baby? Like,
How soon do I become Arthur punching DW? I think Bravi's wise enough not to be jealous.
wise enough not to be jealous. I like that's the thing that keeps her from being jealous is wisdom. That's the stat we're assigning.
We got to see how powerful this kid is first.
We gotta sick this kid on something. We gotta say destroy that, blow up the dragon. We take her back to town and we point at the dragon and say that head, that one, do that one.
We take her to the Tiamat fight, all 5.
Oh my god, it's like the boys with the baby with the laser eyes.
Malcolm immediately get rid of this child.
Yeah.
Malcolm's like, what do my murder hobos need? A child of mass destruction. That'll really fit in well with the family dynamic of my murder hobos.
Oh, I love this bear.
If we keep the kid, Tempe will finally have something magical. That he
Touche. I kind of want to keep the bear too, though.
Yeah, let's keep both.
I also
Why not
want to
both?
keep the bear.
Why not both?
Oh, we should
Porque no las dos?
too. Yeah, for sure.
So who takes first watch? It sounds like Ravi or is it Amnon are sitting up with
I'll
Gumi?
stay up. I love the night.
Yeah.
Amnon will stay up for just like a couple hours just to help out, but I think he's just gonna knock out.
Amnon stays up. Okay.
Tempe's already putting his face mask on. His nighttime face mask.
His CPAP.
Yeah.
CPAP.
Yeah.
Ravi, before you go sit over and actually Tempe, after being around you for a bit, the child kind of lays down. I don't know what you provide her to kind of bundle up in, and she kind of looks up and she seems a bit scared, and she looks at you, Tempe, and she kind of I don't even know how she would sign it, but she seems to kind of want something from you. As you go to walk away.
I put my arm around her. I sit back down next to her and I put my arm around her.
She sits there and Can I have a insight check from you? And she kind of seems to like touch her mouth and then like make, kind of do different things with her hands. What do you
I
get?
got a 17.
Okay. So she seems to be telling you that she wants you to like tell her a story. You know, she starts to like, she's a little bit of a light and she's like making her hands and she's like turning them into like dragons on the ground, stuff like that.
I shake my head yes, but I make like I kind of look like I'll tell her low, right? Because I'll look around and see if anybody can hear me. And then I'll start talking to her, but only she can hear me.
Okay. And what's the story that you tell her? I'm not putting you on the spot. But like,
No. So he looks around. This is super easy. So he looks around and then, you know, he looks down at her because he has her arm around her and he's kind of whispering a little bit. And he goes, there was once a really dark place, and in this dark place it was filled with a lot of dangers. But right in the middle of this really dark place, there was a small center of light. And that light was really, really strong. It was stronger than all the darkness. And I go, it was concentrated right here. And I point to her chest.
She does. Is that the end of it?
Yeah.
And so she kind of smiles, looks up to the stars, and like her eyes kind of flutter, and she slowly drops away and goes to sleep. As the others rest, what does Gumi, Amnon, and Ravi, is there anything else that they kind of talk about or chat about as they sit overlooking like the water and the stars?
I would want to know about, like, you know, any of his adventures and stuff like that. And, you know, I would discuss some stuff that I feel comfortable talking to him about what we do. You know, just, you know, sharing memories and stuff.
He tells you some great stories about hunting and about the dangers of the forest and how for him he's okay with it, how he embraces it, kind of like his little philosophy on things. And he talks about he seems to almost have forgotten his life as a normal man, even though he still loved nature. He constantly, when he talks about his old town, he goes, it's like close by. Sometimes he says it's 60 miles, sometimes he says it's 30 miles away. We'll point that way, we don't point that way. And then he'll just say, like, but that's all behind me now. And, you know, and he says, I have everything I need here. Well, Gomi has everything except his axe. It was a fine axe. I do remember my father, he gave me that axe. That Valarkin, he took it. He knows how much it means to me. He takes many of the weapons and things that other, you know, folks like yourself foolish enough to, I'm not calling you foolish, but those who come through here and don't fare well. Maybe you could help me. I know you seem to be busy with your travels, but if you decide to stick around, I would love for someone to help me get my axe back from the werewolves. Now, just know that there are more of them than the four you saw tonight, and you would be sneaking into the den or going in, however you prefer. If you help me, I'm sure there's something I can share with you. I've got some stores of goods, lots of honey, and whatever weapons you find there, and I'll think on it. But just asking because you seem friendly, but no obligations.
Well,
If not, Gumi will be fine.
I'd love to help.
yeah, I was thinking the same, but I do have some more questions before I make my decision.
Yes.
So, your axe, is it, do you know where it is?
It's in their lair.
Their lair. How many werewolves are in their lair?
I killed Jody, so
Secrets.
he's a bit old. So 9 or 10.
I don't even know if you were able to hurt the 4 that came after us.
But they're not always together. Sometimes in the evening when half the pack will go out to hunt, the others will be there resting. So you may not have to encounter all together.
Okay. Ravi, you want to do this?
I'd love to.
Of course you can consult with your friends. There's no rush, but
That's actually was going to be my next point, is that I say we would just have to sneak in and get out fast. But let's rest up and we'll all talk together.
Yeah.
okay. And so
I,
they'll
I just
Go ahead.
I do want Ravi to have just kind of like talk to him.
Yeah, just- you can just talk
and
to him.
ask him like kind of like what's it like to be a full like werewolf, and like kind of just tell him that he was born like this. It wasn't placed on him. He's never had like someone who understood really like what he's going through.
And Ravi's telling him from the perspective of you've always been this way, and seeing how he responds to it, or seeing how
Pretty much, yeah. Just
Yeah.
kind of being like, kind of like slipping hints that maybe he would like a mentor, but like not being like
Okay, yeah.
overt about it.
He goes, Gumi, I wish I was born this way. I don't. I think it's great. I'm happy. I'm content, and I'm not hiding. I can go into town if I want to. I'm sure not looked at a bit strange if I go this way. People don't see werebears like me every day. But I no longer need, I think I always, growing up originally when I left my town, I remember I was looking for adventure, a way to prove myself, a way to prove myself to my father, a way to prove myself to my family. And over time I found where I fit in, and I realized that the journey was living itself. I had nothing to accomplish other than the things that I was happy with. And so I find plenty of adventure here on a daily basis. Maybe one day I'll decide to move to a new forest and to find more adventure, but if you seem to be very knowledgeable of, and I commend you for being able to be yourself throughout the rest of this world. I hope that you and I can continue to be friends, continue to have these conversations. You will have these conversations with Kumi.
I hope so. I'd love to.
What's that? You seems a bit sad. Why so? You have done things Kumi will only dream of.
Yeah. But I've lost a lot of people along the way.
Has Ravi talked about what happened to them in the town agreements at all tonight?
Not
Not really.
really.
Okay, just wondering.
And I don't know. I've faced a lot of people not particularly liking me because of what I am. So it's just that's why
I see you're trying to find new friends. Ah, I thought we were close. As the stone is speaking to you.
We'll talk later.
I know you love cooking. Soon I'll offload myself and you can cook again.
Wait,
You and I, just little old stone of galore. Nobody cares.
galore. We can talk later. Just give me like 5 seconds.
The stone is
What?
interested in this werebear, obviously.
Why did that read like a little breakup? Like the galore is like, it's fine. You know, you want to make new friends. We're
Literally
good.
the
You
last time we
want-
talked to each other, we were like, "Oh, I'm bored with you."
Yeah, he's like, I'm bored with you. I'm like leaving you. Now he's like, wait, why aren't you talking to me?
It's like, clearly you love cooking more than me. I'll let you do that. I'll so toxic, but I'll let you.
You want to know what's really toxic? I want that bonus to AC.
We have a lot of toxic NPCs in this game. I'm sorry.
No,
I have to like
no.
rein in my toxic NPCs. Go be
No, I think they're fun. I love them.
It's fun. It's
Um,
fun because we're such a tight knit little family that anytime we talk to people who are like, "Wow, you don't hate your friend," like, no, we don't.
Yeah,
hate
you know,
our
like
friends. We talk to the Castellanders and they're like, "Oh, you feel genuine affection for one another? That's so weird." We're like, is it weird that we feel genuine affection for one another? In this world, it is.
Oh God, I don't remember what we were doing.
I love this bear. This bear is gonna get us killed. We can't fight
All
these.
these people are fucked up. That's the whole problem.
Okay.
We can't fight these werewolves. This bear is gonna get us killed. I love this bear, but this bear is gonna get us killed.
Yeah, we're gonna try to.
Yeah,
save
you guys
Rose.
don't have to take this mission at all. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't have to do it now. I feel like we
Yeah.
can prepare ourselves and
Yeah.
do it.
So he's like, he'll be here. And so the party rests. And is there anything else that you might ask Gumi before they, close out their night, or otherwise they just kind of sit there and I guess look at the stars. And at some point he takes his big paws and like puts them on Amnon's shoulder and one around Ravi. And he kind of leans back and you all both kind of fall back in the grass. Just like looking up. It's a restful evening.
Demetria, absolutely. If someone tries to wake her up to take her turn at watch, she is absolutely turning the fuck over, pretending she didn't hear them. She is exhausted. She is sleeping the full 8. She loves you guys. We have our new bear friend to cover for her. She is not taking a watch tonight. Thank you.
I wouldn't ask.
Yeah,
I will say I am probably having this conversation with Galore where I'm trying to be like, all right, tell me about the show you were watching. I want to know.
Trying to like cultivate, like, yeah, okay, you're interested in this thing. Just tell me about the thing.
Yeah,
I'll
tell me,
listen.
what's going on with you, Galore?
And so they rest and they sleep. And though the day did not go, as planned, the plan to save the people, they rest knowing that there is an opportunity to make things right. They have a lot on their plate right now. They have this child that they don't know what she even is, but they know she feels like all things innocence, right? They all can see themselves in her. Most of them want to protect her at least. And there is this new information. What can Lady Silverhands provide if they go back and share this? And then they've met this friend Gumi, and can they eventually help him? And does that return in some way to help them in their grander scheme? But even though it was a rough day, they rest. Tomorrow is an opportunity for a continued adventure, not a new one, but a continued one. And so we will end and fade to black, with only the stars still there in the darkness. Good game.
Man, we had a nice ending. This
Yes,
was
thank
great.
you, Malcolm.
Oh.
Good job, team.
What a
Everything
cheating
worked out
game,
okay.
man. Like we're gonna be going through the next week to like waiting for the next game. We're gonna be like, man.
That was a good session.
It
That was
was.
good. Pouring yourself a celebratory.
Yeah, I'm
Malcolm
just gonna have
didn't kill anyone today. Damn it. He goes back to his calendar. He was about to erase the 365 days without a character death. He's gonna erase that, but he has to draw it back in.
That was really good. That was I'm so glad Dimitri's still here. Yeah. Her death would have been a rough. The way I wrote that would have been
Such a bummer. You can hold on to it. Part of me that's curious, but part of me is like, just in case, save that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna share anything about it. I don't want. I
will
keep
say,
that close to the chest.
I was so concerned about dying in the moment that it took me a good 20 to 30 minutes to realize that I had a face-to-face with Tiamat.
Yeah,
that hit me like a good 20 or 30 minutes after it actually happened. I was like, okay, hold up.
Yeah,
that just happened. God, and like the visual of her like being the darkness that was like swamping and surrounding everything, that was terrifying. She was scary enough as a singular person, but as soon as I was expecting you to go from singular person, giant dragon. You went from singular person to like sea of darkness.
Yeah,
like overwhelming darkness. That was a lot. That was good. That was good, Malcolm. You got me.
It was tough because I wasn't. So I. What's funny is I will give it. Jameson never mentioned it, but I knew Jameson had Revivify. So
yeah, with the
I was like,
mentioned at the
even
end
if she dies, if all they have to do is get Jameson up. I thought you guys had talked, so I was like, their game plan is she dies, they get Jameson up, they get Reckless, Revivify.
Jameson had mentioned in the last game that he had some diamonds.
So I was like, if Cyan Wrath is brutal, I mean, she wouldn't know he had it, so yeah, I was like, I had no reason. So yeah,
good for us. I'm just like,
you okay, Tempe? I know you were hating every bit of that the whole way through.
And now Tempe has a daughter. Now Tempe has a daughter.
My game's starting to feel like you're just getting beat up. Like
it's okay. I've got a kid now, so it makes up for it a little bit. Like I'm super scarred right now. I mean, the kid is gonna wind up being fucked up too, but
why is
right
Tempe?
Now, Tempe's super happy.
Tempe is like that certain brand of like Instagram girl where like she always just wants a baby. Like as soon as her babies become toddlers, she's like, I need another baby.
He's got this kid now. He's super stoked right now. He found
that was so cute. Telling her stories. That was cute.
I'm so glad I passed off this child to someone who's actually a father.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't roleplay maternalness.
Oh, she's not done with you, Robbie. She's still. They're like, it's like I see. It's like Uncle Robbie and Uncle Tippy right now. It's like
I'd rather be
Father
older
Tippy at some point. Yeah, it could be.
Robbie.
We gotta see who becomes like because you protected her for some time.
I can train this kid how to fight, even though she's just gonna be magically fuck something up. So it'll be super fun.
Yeah, Raklesh would like to speak to Kildjern and Araka.
Divorce lawyer Raklesh handling marriage counselor Raklesh.
I don't know if he knows how to summon them.
Yeah, he'd probably have to.
So he would ask Amnon
and
Dimitra.
She'd be like, hey, Kildjern, something not so cool happened last night. I need to talk to you.
Because Raklesh has gotten one answer, so he needs to get some other answers to create a full picture.
I thought you guys were so ready to just go full on with the whole. I was like, this is going to be a rough episode if they just make this a slugfest. Because for a second I thought they were going to run, slam the doors, the keep, and just make it an all-out fight.
I was really tempted there to go and talk to Cyan Wrath in her tent. I was like, she's gonna kill me. Or she is.
That would have been an interesting game too. There was so many different ways
I'm
this
like,
could have worked. There was,
but because I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
we were allowed to leave or not,
Yeah.
because that would have tipped our hands that we were planning on bouncing. But
I
gave
will
her the letter
say-
instead. I sent you with the message.
yes. Oh, you already did. You put it on
I
Discord.
did.
You
It's
sent
in,
it?
it's
Okay.
in DMs on Discord.
It's in DMs. Okay, I'll take a look. Yeah, I think that it would have been. I think that session would have probably been in because I also knew that you guys were. I felt like you were itching to kill things, especially with you were hating
Always.
the villain so
Always.
much. So with them itching, I'm like, they are going to somebody's just going to be like, let's just go, let's just fight. So because we know we've had kind of like a full role play session last game, so I was a little scared. But yeah, and I think if you would have gone to talk to Cyan Wrath, I didn't take it from it wouldn't be direct, but I think the inspiration is similar to in Dragonlance. There is I think it's the first book where they start. No, it's the second book where they begin the town. There's a town that is occupied by the bad guys, and they're in the tavern and they're drinking and stuff, but they're like on eggshells because the bad guys run.
I think that is the first book.
That's the first one, yeah. And like,
I remember, I
you know,
recall that.
and like the good folks are like running around, like, you know, feeding all
Like
these like
that.
goblins, like these draconians. So it
We're
would have
gonna
kind
go.
of, it would have been you all living in that, you know, in an occupied kind of state, which would have
No.
probably been pretty interesting. Yeah.
No.
And you would have probably been summoned to her tent to like have a drink and to talk things through and that.
Oh, good kind of talk.
Here, I'll share because it's not. She wouldn't have. Demetria wouldn't have kept this secret from everybody else. But the
Yeah.
letter was Cyan Wrath. Thanks in order for healing me. I'm flattered, but not that flattered. I've seen your Dark Queen. She has eyes like any other thug I've ever known. We both know how the story goes. Tiamat only has one destiny, ending up back in hell where she belongs. You don't have to end up there with her. Redemption is possible, even to the bloody end. We'll meet again, Demetria.
Love it.
And that's
there's so many things building here.
That's the thanks, no
I
thanks.
like
I'm
how-
good.
I like how Demetria still tried to like NA meeting this fucking chick.
She tries to
even though
save
she-
everybody. It's great. Like,
no, but
It's
it's
the
the most
oath.
I
amazing
love
thing
it.
because
I love it.
that's why I'm so afraid that every time we run into Killjoy, because I'm just like, bro, this dude is like the most zealot. Like this dude is Bahamut like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like if he thinks you're bad, he don't give a fuck. He's gonna kill you. Like
I asked him last night, I was like, if
he's
you
just
think
people.
something's bad, will you? So I think that Robbie was able to kind of talk him down. And we established he's more James Earl Jones and Mufasa. That's what he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then we established some things about him.
I mean, Demetria's counterpoint would be right, sure. Conquest, you kill the baddies, we're down one baddie. You redeem the baddies. You're down a baddie and you're up a hero.
And you're up a hero.
What's the what
But
which
can
one
you
is that?
trust them is probably what Killjoy would say.
That's what Killjoy would say. But
You're
but
buddies with Aramis. Can you trust anyone?
Yeah.
You're one to talk.
That's
I see
why.
Your BF, I see your BF.
That's why he wouldn't trust him. That's why he wouldn't trust him. He knows better.
It's like I see your BFF bracelet with Aramis. I know what you get up to.
I'm
Aramis
sure
keeps
Killjoy
every-
fell for like what felt like 100 years. Like he just fell. Like he fell until he froze, and then he turned into an icicle, and then he shed a tear, and then he became the tear, and then he went to Bahamut. Like my man has like, and then he died, and then he got stepped on by Tiamat herself
Wait.
and just smeared across the floor.
She literally did step on him. She literally did step on him.
I'm so excited to see how this kid's gonna fuck us up.
Cheryl, can we say that
I am
the
so in love with this kid already.
me too.
Yeah.
That's
Cheryl,
the
did-
danger is when we give Malcolm things that we love. He
Yeah.
forges them at his like blacksmith
She's gonna
montage,
be
turning them into
great.
knives.
She's gonna be awesome.
This child.
Good.
What were you saying, Lex?
I was gonna say, can we say that the games that Aramis and Ebony play, we stole from Killjoy's room?
We're playing on his Xbox. He comes
You
back.
guys are the worst.
He comes back to Bahamut's palace.
His,
Me and Lex were
really,
joking.
the controller's all sticky.
No, Kildren goes. He gets back from the gym. He's ready to like get dressed again to go out. He like pulls open like the drawer, and all of his clean socks are gone. And Aramis is like going by, like, "Oh, sorry, I keep not doing laundry. I borrowed."
Hold on, is that a
Clean
new
pair of socks.
Mid-Journey image?
No,
Yeah.
I found this one randomly and I just
Okay.
fell in love with it. I was
It's
like,
perfect. I noticed as soon as you put it up, I was like,
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a really good one.
Damn.
yeah. I just found this guy the other day, just like looking stuff up randomly.
I
And
like
I
it.
was like,
nice.
I can't let this one go.
That one's good.
No, that's perfect.
Thanks. Yeah.
I even like because it's kind of like with the angle and the way you have it
Yeah.
cropped to fit in your Zoom thing. we can like pretend that the other horn is the one that's busted.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
yes.
know? So it's like it's out of yeah.
Yeah, so it can. Yeah, it was just too perfect.
Malcolm, is that
Let me delete that DM to Lucas.
Is that what?
New character art?
Is that Demon Kid AI?
You can still send it.
Say that what? Say that again.
Did you create that on Midjourney? That
Oh
Demon
yeah, that was created in Midjourney.
Oh,
I think
mid journey
you said
girl.
that last time.
Yeah.
What are we gonna call this girl? Does she have a name?
No
Let me
one,
ask
no
her
one's
name.
given her a name yet. I will say Robbie would know that the Lennon called her Lenore.
Lenore.
Right.
Oh, I
That-
like that.
That's
Lost
a great
Lenore.
name. Yeah.
I like that.
Tempe will ask her name next session
So yeah, it's gonna be this.
and how to summon her.
I'm glad we're
Really evil.
back to back. I mean, it was actually fun playing week to week. If we could play week to week, that would actually be really cool.
I would die. That would be fun, but I would die.
Well, we would die. Yes.
I
yes,
would last all of 3 weeks before I grew to resent every single one of you.
It was good to
Picking
be.
up my
I'm not
wins.
saying we do it. I'm just saying it was nice to be able to just pick right, especially since that last game was so
Does
tense.
this mean-
It was like waiting 2 weeks to find out what was going to happen.
Oh, no,
So,
yeah.
I'm
And we
glad,
couldn't-
I'm glad
and-
we did it. Yeah.
And I was like, there was no way we could play without Sean. There's no way that we could play without Tempe for whatever.
Well,
the
I
next week.
appreciate you guys pushing this forward because I did not want to miss it for sure. Not that anybody did
Where-
anything.
The dragon came from the south. What direction did the dragon come from?
South.
South.
No, sorry.
Dragon-
Dragon came from east when it left the town. If you want to know,
When it went north when it left the town.
it went like
Northeast.
northeast when it left the town, and then it came back that same direction. So so I guess if there was a camp that the villain that they were at, it would probably come from that direction. Or if there is a lair or a place where the dragon rests, it would probably be in that direction.
Because I'm worried about where they're going next, because it didn't sound like they were setting up here long term. Or like long term. It sounded like they were planning on moving on, or it sounds like at least Cyan Wrath has got.
I'll say, I think I said it last game. Cyan Wrath also mentioned that there were others like her tasked with the same thing.
We need to go back to Waterdeep. I love this bear dude. His act. We got to go back to Waterdeep. It's already a
Yes.
2-week journey. It's already a
I-
2-week journey.
I want to give him a little business card of the House of Spirits.
Let's see. So
Get him a little 15% off coupon.
Yeah, 15% off coupon.
a little free dessert when you buy an adult-sized meal. I was also going to be hella sad because remember we pushed back the opening of the House of Spirits. So
I know you guys
died.
have.
She wouldn't have been able to go.
Is it?
It's being built. Obaya.
Oh, it's being built. Obaya is
fixing
running
up
it.
for us.
Okay.
Yeah, Obaya is
Yeah.
our contractor. Or Obaya is managing our contractor for us while we're gone.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
And Gumi's name is spelled Gummy, just so you know. So he's
Oh,
Fun.
thank you.
Oh, he's a gummy bear.
He's
He's
a
a
gummy
gummy
bear.
bear.
Thank you.
Wait, but Malcolm, I have a question.
yes.
Important question.
Mhm.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Tap tap tap.
Okay,
Do we level up?
you do.
Yes.
Oh
I
yeah.
wasn't expecting it.
Third.
Oh,
Third level spells. Here I come.
I can finally take the feet.
Oh my God, you know what I get? You know what Redemption Paladins get, which I'm planning on using the fuck out of? Counterspell.
ooh.
Oh,
Right now, I have a choice to go either more artificer or lean into warlock because I can get
Yeah,
I can get maddening hex.
I mean, but because it was the artificer was the healing, the mechanism. You use your little robot to heal us.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe going more artificer?
Yeah.
What are you feeling? What is
6 on the hit die.
So when we say that they're heading back to see Lady Silverhands in the next episode, if we had to pick up, they would be that next morning. They'd be heading back home.
That'd be my
Would-
vote anyway.
Would they
Probably,
be
yeah.
taking the same road they took, or would they take the road like if
Do you
they're in
wanna
the woods right now? Would they take swing
Nope.
around? Nope. Take the
Different road.
You said different road, same road.
Different road.
Different
do,
road.
do
Okay.
you want to swing through boulders?
Do we want to swing?
Yeah.
by
Are
road?
there any stopovers that you might take on the way home? So I can
Wait,
kind of plan for it.
Here's the thing that I was actually thinking of that sucks because there's no way it would work. Because I, who played Storm King's Thunder, know that there are Harper transpo circles, those things that we've used to zap around a bunch when we were up in Storm Kings. I know they have those. And our dude Zelrun was a Harper, and he had access to them up in Waterdeep.
The teleportation circles. Yes.
Yeah, because wouldn't that, if we headed to Baldur's Gate, we're Harpers.
Yes.
Like, I think we're all,
The
except
thing is,
Rockalish,
there's
really, but the
no
rest
way
of us
your
are Harpers.
characters know
We just don't know that
anything
they have
about that. Like,
Because our Harper dude doesn't trust us, so he didn't give us the brochure that we were supposed to get with our little pins.
if you can give yourself a good reason to go talk to your Harper guy, maybe that'll make its way. I can't just be like, we're gonna go to Baldur's Gate and hope we buy that guy that has the teleportation circles.
Because I know that the Harpers are spread around. Are the Lords of Alliance only up in Waterdeep? Or are they?
No,
spread
they're everywhere.
Oh.
Like all
They're
the four
everywhere.
major
Oh.
factions, the Lords of the Alliance, the Harpers, they're everywhere.
So we should go to Baldur's Gate, at least to let the Lord Alliance people there know about Green Nest.
You could do that.
Because we don't need to lead the army that they send to go help them out, but we need to let them know. If that's the fastest way that we can get people in power tuned into the situation, I think we should go there.
It's a fair assessment. What do you all think?
I love that idea.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Looks like it's about a little over 100-mile trek.
Jesus.
Maybe
Yeah, I mean,
maybe someone can zap us back to Waterdeep.
Yeah, that's the meta reason.
Harper or not, maybe someone there could just be like, "Here, go, be free."
Go be free.
Yeah.
So it'll take you 3 days, maybe, unless you push harder. Maybe
Less than
a day,
2 weeks.
2 days, man. Yeah, 3 days to get there. I mean, you're gonna take 2 weeks to get home. So yeah, you go to Baldur's Gate.
Faster. Counter spell. Always prepared.
And I don't even get to
More
do anything
reactions.
fun.
All reactions. All the time. I block that with my shield. I counter spell that. I intercept that.
I'm
I
never
hellish
removing
rebuke
this
that.
step, I'll tell you that.
God, thank you, Amnon. Thank you, Rockalish, for keeping me alive. I owe you my life, both of you.
To families
Thank you.
for.
Thank you, Tempe, for weeping over my corpse. That also helps.
This is literally the Fast and the Furious like D&D franchise game.
It's about family.
It's a D&D.
It's always been about family.
You could make a really good Vin Diesel too.
Is Demetria not the Vin Diesel of this campaign?
I think Demetria is.
I think it is, yeah.
Absolutely the Vin Diesel of this campaign.
Yeah.
She gets all the chicks. She drives. She's got all the armor. She's got all.
Under, yeah, it's sleeveless.
She's
She's in the
like-
white tank.
she's got the
in white tank
sleeves.
top.
She's,
So good.
Oh, I'm writing that in. That's gonna be in the
Oh,
90s.
man.
Yes,
90s.
please.
she survives everything so far. You throw at her so far.
Knock on wood,
Her
so
AC
far.
is crazy.
Everything you throw at her so far, you're talking about yourself, you know.
I know. I'm like.
Everything
Looking
you
in a
throw at her
mirror.
so far. I do want to take responsibility. I did send Malcolm that song that he was playing when I was having the flashback. I loved Sybil Byers. She's so gorgeous.
That
That
was-
artist.
Music
that
tonight
was-
was crazy.
I
real.
missed that battle music. I missed that are
Mm.
actually having fun. That's crazy how even though we weren't doing much in the werewolf battle or we weren't having much effect on them, the fact that it was all of us fighting together, I felt so good about that. That I didn't realize how fucked up it is to 1v1 something until I was fighting in a group again.
yeah.
It felt so much better. I felt so much like, yeah, we can figure this out because it's all of us together.
I think Sean went through that, man. That was intense. Very intense.
I didn't expect
moment.
that. I didn't expect that reaction. I didn't expect that to
Yeah.
be an effect of one.
And I think the werewolves were they could have got scary, but you're holding your own, pretty well with them. They don't.
Top Tempe moments. Top Tempe moments.
We're going to Baldur's Gate. I gotta prepare for Baldur's Gate.
Want to hear a fun fact?
Sure.
Rakalish oaths are no longer optional. I have the Gia spell.
No. Bad.
What is it? What does that mean? Say that again.
It's the thing that forces you to do stuff. It's like compel person, except it's not
jeez.
compel person. It's
Well, you can deny it, but then you take 5d10 psychic damage.
That's not good.
no forced cannibalism. No.
It's not cannibalism. You're a tiefling. He's a lizard folk. You're two different things.
No eating sentient beings. No eating beings capable of speech.
What
Well,
if
actually I
greater
can cast
restoration?
talk with animals. So.
We're all vegetarians now. We're all
I can
vegetarians.
I cast speak with plants.
We're all
Yeah.
breatharians now. We
So
all
they're looking
eat
for they're
dirt.
looking for
I
heart,
cast
they're looking for
gaseous
Lords of the
form.
Alliance in Baldur's Gate is what they are going to do. So they're keeping this little girl close.
I also have Ray's dead now.
Did Ravi tell them that night that she literally turned people into the headless horseman? Like
Nope.
into the flaming
Absolutely
challenge?
That was all a dream.
Tempe has no idea. He just loves this child right now. He's gonna get.
I just realized that like never came back up.
I feel like as we're like closing out on this scene, like Ravi like is having a good moment and he looks back at the child and like not even necessarily like blaming her or anything, but just has like that flashback to it happening and then children and then just like all
It's
this
gotta
and
be
then
traumatic.
and then you just see Tempe being like just like so happy to have this child here.
Love it.
Poor Tempe. Poor guy.
So, good stuff. Good game. Wow.
Sean, what'd you draw for your card?
Yeah.
Tax collector.
Interesting. What does that mean?
Yeah, I didn't even look it up yet because I was so into the. Let's figure it out. I'm gonna find out right
Okay,
now.
what'd you do?
I
Right?
drew the lovers upside down.
Oh, I barely know what that means.
It signifies failure.
But it's
Which
upside down.
Ravi, no, upside down. It signifies
Oh.
failure.
Well,
Which Ravi did kind of fail.
that's kind of the whole green nest situation in a
Yeah,
nutshell.
just in
Yeah,
a nutshell.
It really is. Yeah.
This wasn't the ultimate failure because the ultimate failure would have had deaths.
They
Yes.
failed what they thought they were going to be able to pull off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like an ego. That's a hit to the ego.
Yeah.
The fact that you
Fine.
hit me with the shield thing, Malcolm.
Yeah. I was like, ooh, that's gonna be.
Because I think I regretted my answer. I don't think Demetria thinks she's worthy to carry the shield. I don't think she thinks she'll ever be worthy. But I think that the fact that she's trying is the
And
thing.
there were two options based on if you passed or failed what was going to happen. And that's partially why you met with Takesis, which means that I would think in Dimitri's mind, she doesn't know for sure, but was that entire conversation with Takesis from the get-go?
Fuck. Yeah, did she take
Was
over
that
the
not
call, or was
Bahamut?
that her from the get-go?
Yeah.
Shit, okay. 'Cause that, Jesus.
Yeah.
Because if that was Tiamat from the get-go, that means Tiamat knows.
'Cause she was holding his hand. She was holding his hand, and then it was her hand. So there was this weird switchover somewhere in that moment.
So either because if she took over the call, that means something bad for Big B because he's getting his calls hijacked.
Yeah.
But if that was her from the get-go, then she knows about that moment, which is also a scary thought that because that was like a very 1v1 conversation, Bahamut and Demetria. But Tiamat like read her mind or something. Jesus.
And then Rakalesh was
I wish-
seeing Eldricon while he was dying, and you were both connected.
Demetria
So,
wants to talk. Demetria wants to talk to Eldricon so badly. That is the guy that she was hoping that he would be.
Wouldn't that
able
be
to
crazy?
talk to.
Like episode, whatever, 40, whatever.
I mean,
We
Rakdos
bring
now
back,
thinks
like
Eldricon is
Travis
dead.
hops on the call. Eldricon.
Dude, that'd be
I'd
amazing.
scream.
I would
That
destroy
would
it.
I would lose my
that would
shit.
break the Zoom call, man.
Yeah.
You know what? What was it? I was thinking, this is like totally showing how much of a drama queen I am. Because I was thinking that in the case of Demetria dying, where I don't introduce my character this episode, I
Mhm.
don't join the next episode. Because you know how you have it set up that if you turn off the camera for the tabletop, it'll just say tabletop cinematic.
Yes.
I joined the Zoom call early. I turned my camera off. I named myself tabletop.
Tabletop.
So
I've
then
done
when
that
my
before
character,
too.
so that when
I
my
do that too.
character gets introduced, I turn my camera on and it's actually me. And I've been there the whole
Yeah.
time.
I usually hide secret people as tabletop. And
Yeah.
we have people,
I
and
would
then usually
scream.
you really got to be patient because you don't end up coming into the game until like an hour and 20 minutes
Yeah.
in.
Cheryl, I would drive down to Irvine. I would knock on every door.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Cheryl here.
1,000
Rapper. How
Where's
dare
this
you.
bitch?
Just standing in the middle of the courtyard. Cheryl.
I'm like getting texts from my friends like, someone's looking for you.
Calm
Corruption. And it's interesting. That's we call corruption.
combo
like that at
attack
all.
question though.
Scary.
Honesty in an otherwise corrupt government organization.
Oh.
No, like the flip side of
Oh, maybe your message got to her.
maybe my
Ooh,
message.
I know
got
how
to
I
me.
I know how I read that. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just that fine.
Ohan, what does Hex do?
Hex, I can choose a what is it? An ability to pose disadvantage on, and then I when I hit a creature that's hexed, I do extra damage.
So it does not do that to saving throws though.
No.
Darn. Is there anything that gives disadvantage to saving throws?
Bane.
Bane? Do you
Mhm.
have Bane?
Do I have Bane? Or do I only get plus?
Because I just got a very fun spell.
What'd you get?
I can take Bane, yeah.
Contagion.
I should use Bane more often.
Contagion. Your touch inflicts a disease. Make a melee spell attack on a creature. On a hit, the target is poisoned. At the end of each of the poisoned target's turns, the target must make a con save. If the target succeeds on 3 of these saves, it is no longer poisoned, and the spell ends. If the target fails 3 saves, the target is no longer poisoned, but chooses one of the diseases below.
Measles. I cast measles. What are
These are all
diseases?
awful. There's blinding sickness.
Oh,
Pain grips the creature's mind, and its eyes turn milky white. The creature has disadvantage on wisdom checks and wisdom saving throws, and is blinded.
I wish I knew that when I wrote that paper about wisdom saves, because that's interesting.
Filth fever. A raging fever sweeps through the creature's body. Has disadvantage on strength checks and strength saving throws, and attack rolls that use strength. Flesh rot. The creature's flesh decays. The creature has disadvantage on charisma checks and vulnerability to all damage. Mind fire. The creature's mind becomes feverish, and the creature has disadvantage on intelligence checks, intelligence saving throws, and the creature behaves as if it's under the effects of the confusion spell during combat. Seizures. The creature is overcome with shaking. The creature has disadvantage on dexterity checks, dexterity saving throws, and attack rolls using dexterity. And slimy doom. The creature begins to bleed uncontrollably. The creature has disadvantage on con checks, constitution saving throws, and in addition, whenever the creature takes damage, it is stunned until the end of its next turn.
Those don't sound like fun at all.
No.
These are
So
all
if you can
options
get
you
them-
They're
get.
supposed to be fun for us.
Cast every single one of them on
So-
Lady Castellanter.
I mean, I only got one 5th level
Get her.
For being
slot.
racist to me that one time.
Wait, you get to pick one of these, or
or they
Yeah, I get to
pick.
pick one of those.
Mm,
When
So
we get back, can we beat her up?
I think we're at that point. I think we're like, okay.
can we get a what?
Can we
That's
beat
all-
up Lady Castellanter? Now that we're Lords of Alliance, can we like sever that relationship? Can we say we're done with that? Can we?
You gotta like you can say you're done with them, but yeah, you
We have Araka. We're dealing with Araka more than we used to. Remember when we were scared of Araka? Remember when Araka
I mean
like
the only thing they ever yeah, like the idea that you're dealing with the devils is more than anything. It's like it's you the only relationship that's really that you're connected to them is that you kind of they got away with it. You know it.
Boo.
Right? Like, yeah.
let's
So-
kill them.
Yeah,
Let's hide
we
their bodies
can.
in the sewers. I think we have the power to get away with it. We have
Rockalish can eat
pocket.
them.
Rockalish can eat them.
yeah, I
Douglas,
just
we
cast
brought you a
contagion on them each day. Give them all those things.
A use
Like
for
you're
our wine
seasoning them.
A use for our wine basement. It's like wine we spell with an H because they keep complaining. Who is that behind you now, Malcolm?
Oh, that was Sylvan Wrath. That was the guy
Oh,
who gave the message
I know.
about them taking
It's
over.
in an alternate universe, right? Demetria is Cyan Wrath and Tempe is her Silver.
yes, yes. I think so.
We should totally play those characters.
Yes.
I'm the old lady.
down.
Is that Tiamat?
Tiamat, yeah.
Tiamat.
I think that the imagery that I used from her in this form in that dream is I was like sure because I'm sure like I think it's a character from Diablo. She's like a version of a
There's
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
there was a moment in that flashback too where I know it was probably just like computer thing because the music started like blasting, But fuck if the
Ooh.
timing of the music blasting didn't work out, because it was as soon as you showed like her real face behind you, the music, you switched to a new track and that music was super loud. It was like, oh
Was that
shit.
not on purpose? I thought that was on purpose.
Was that on purpose?
That the music was
I thought it
loud?
on purpose.
I wasn't
Not
trying to-
not
no,
and
no,
say
no.
it was on purpose.
No, the music wasn't on purpose. It just the music probably swelled, which changed where I had it, and it was like I didn't know. You know,
It was on
yeah.
purpose
Oh,
because
that
Malcolm was an
that
artist.
was real. That was real convenient because that seemed real fucking intentional.
Yeah.
It worked.
So that it also that it was unnerving. It was so loud. Like
It was
that kind of-
unnerving because it was
Yeah.
like, imagine like you're creeping along in this scene. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is going on?
The switch was
Suddenly
on
you
purpose.
turn around.
Yes. Yeah. The switch was on purpose. The music was on purpose. It blaring to the point where maybe it like took you out of it was not. But you can only control music so much sometimes.
Because it was sort of like, you know, that fuck, what movie is it? I don't think it's Alien, but it's some monster movie, some horror movie where
Yeah.
it's like the closer the creature is getting, you have like
Oh,
this brown note
got it. Yeah.
that like gets louder and louder whenever the thing.
Because I didn't like push the sound up. I
Not
kept it
Jaws. No,
around
it's like
the
it's
same.
like a droning noise. What movie is that?
If anything, I kept trying to fluctuate it because I kept when you guys would talk, I'd like try to turn it down because it was like I didn't know if you was drowning you all out.
It was good in the moment though.
Yeah,
It was really good.
I'm glad it worked. It's always play by ear. It's kind of
Applause for Malcolm. Applause for Malcolm.
Applause for you all. Applause for you.
Every
all.
week, man.
Yeah,
Or
trying to make
every
that-
time we play, dude.
You know, I told Cheryl like I kept planning out all the different options of this game, but it all just kept coming back to this game's going to be that first 20 minutes, that first 30 minutes. It's really the whole game.
Emergency
like, it's
dice.
gonna go. So yeah, it's like damn, you got a 19, so good roll.
So close. I was like so ready because again, I'm a drama queen. I had like something prepped if I got the 20 and I popped back up. Because I was gonna like pop back up while Cyan Wrath had her back turned, and I was gonna lay on hands myself and be like Cyan Wrath, like
So
she
the
turned
only
around and
thing
I'm all
that-
filled up.
I could have leaned on, and I was like, I said I'm going to decide in the moment because I knew that Racklish could be saved, and what made it real, that would scare the shit out of everyone.
Mm-mm.
You knew that because your hit points are lower because of her ashen blades.
Yeah. Did that?
So
did that?
if
make
I
it my
killed
long
her,
husband?
if you died from that, you just turned to ash. So that would have destroyed the Revivify because there would be no body.
And that would have killed
Tempe.
Tempe. I think Tempe watching me
It's
turn
so-
to ash.
It was
would've
like,
been-
Malcolm, how cruel do you be when
You
she
would've had to
fails
kill-
this?
you
Do you
would've had to
give them
kill
the
Tempe before.
opportunity,
Yeah.
or do you just say she like literally turns into like a blade vampire, where she's just like she like fizzles away and turns to
Sizzling.
No,
Sizzling.
that game would have been way fucking different.
I mean, you
and it was
could've
on that
said-
first roll. It would have been that first roll. That would have been it. It would have been like, boom.
Actually, you know what? You would have had to kill me and fucking Wrath.
I think this would have been a war episode. Well, no.
Yeah.
I was prepared to TPK you all. Do believe if you would have went to war with them, I was gonna go for the TPK.
And we know he's
I was
capable.
like,
And we know he's capable.
I was like,
We
this
know what he's
dragon is
done.
gonna burn this bitch down. Like, because I would just kept the dragon streaking out of like, I would only bring that dragon in harm's way just low enough to drop that lightning bolt, just keep lining you all up and just
Everyone
dropping
would die
like
except
30,
Rob.
40, 50 hit points per person and just have the rest of them mob. It would have been
Probably
bad.
would've
Or
been-
if they took defensive positions, then it would have been a little bit more of a fight, depending on where you guys are in the castle, and you'd have been taking that damage from outside. But I think you'd have been safe. Or I just figured, you know what? They'll kill Cyan Wrath, or they'll kill a bunch of fuckers, and then they'll retreat, and then they'll flee. But if you guys stood outside and just fought, I was like, oh no, you guys are gonna die. I was like, they're gonna die.
Yeah. Imagine that scene of Ravi just sitting there waiting for you guys to show up.
That would be the post-credit scene, like he's in the forest, like.
No, I promise they're coming. I swear.
And then the
No.
wolves.
Oh my god!
show up.
Because what happens to Axel when Amnon dies?
Disappears.
It disappears.
It's like Axel. What? Axel?
With this little child just sitting in the forest waiting for the wolves to come with this child.
No.
That would have been the end of the campaign. That would have been
Nope.
like.
My new character would have come out of the woods ready to fight.
All right, Shell. I figured out what I'm gonna do with my character.
It's the
I
close
went Artificer,
Yes.
and then it cuts
And
back
that
to
gave
the
me a
background.
feat.
Wait, Sean,
I did
what?
Gunner.
Nice.
But I kept thinking, is there a way out of it? I think they can do it. I just think that if they do it like out of sheer anger and like just like if Dimitri dies, I was like, it's probably gonna be bad because I was thinking Tempe's gonna jump first, Amnon's gonna go for an Eldritch Blast on the track, and it's gonna be like boom, 20 hit points, and it's just gonna fucking start railing everybody.
It's gonna be like that meme.
I mean,
with,
Radcliffe's just a mean motherfucker, but if he can't get to this thing to take a bite,
If he's also dead.
yeah, if he's also down, then you're in trouble.
I would have looked back and like, for Demetria!
Kicking his blades off of that chick the entire time.
This is that would have been a sight. Is Tempe going up with Cyan Wrath?
Yeah.
I was telling Malcolm earlier, I had started writing something. I ran out of time because I've been busy. I was writing something for Demetria, and one of the things I was writing is little chunks of flashes in her life. And one is that when she was escaping from prison, Kataya and Greyrun abandoned her. And so that's the thing, is she's lying there at the end of the rope, broken ribs, and the people she thought were her friends that abandoned her. All you guys stuck around, you saved her. This is so nice. This is so good. I love this for her.
And I appreciate that they're not willing to fight everything to a reckless abandon, because to me, a lot of times
Not
that's
anymore.
a win.
Not anymore.
That sometimes it's a they can look at it as a fail forward. Sometimes I think it's actually more of a win when you know when to be like, this is not the fight, because let's like, it's just not approaching D&D from that video game mindset. It's like, okay, DM put this on the board, which means that we should do it, right? Like that's also I wanted to tempt you, because putting the miniatures on the board tempts people to thinking this is a combat scenario. These miniatures are meant here for us to have combat. And they're not always that way.
And there's a lot of groups who would have just been like, "Oh fuck it, we're gonna fight, right?" Like,
a lot of groups probably
that's like
that
a
would have
super
been
common thing. But I think like that's what makes this group so.
This group is a little more analytical.
Unique, is that we approach things differently, and like
because I have groups that like if I put the miniatures on the board, or if I start the game with the board, they think, okay, that's the scenario. We should do that.
Like if I was playing Kildren would have jumped in that motherfucker with the
We know. We've fought with Kildren before.
We know why he's an angel. We know why he's a spirit, eternal spirit.
We were there. We were all there. We all saw it happen.
He's a
Before I get off, I have a confession to make. Rakalesh cast Dispel Magic on the child.
Wow, now you killed the child.
Now you've killed all of our happiness, Rakalesh.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
This is why we can't have anything good, man.
Turns out Rakalesh was the jealous older sibling who doesn't like the baby.
Only because there's only so much dispelling of magic that you can do. You all are saying you think this thing, doesn't mean she's fully magic. She's clearly a flesh and blood human, being. So
let me ask you, I got a question. What does Tempe think of the kid? Other than like, does Tempe feel anything off the kid?
Tell me. What do you mean?
They're like radial energy. Is there it smacks of magic? Is there like his hairs are raising kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, like Tempe's a spiritual guy. Like he's not magical by any means. He doesn't really.
I think so far everybody's done something. Like Ravi did you tried to discern the magic, right? Yeah. It kept switching. You tried to discern what she is. You could not get a read. Same thing. You trying to dispel the magic. It's almost like Rakalesh's dispel acted like there at that moment, like there was no magic. So she's an anomaly right now to all of you, I think.
But there was 3 magics that she didn't have, right? 3.
Yes, that was true.
Illusion, necromancy.
No, it was necromancy, abjuration, and evocation were the 3 that she didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
But she also didn't have illusion.
She did have illusion.
She did have illusion, possibly.
Oh, she did.
Doesn't mean she has, it just means that it wasn't ruled out. It did, it was one of the magics that showed up but then changed. Yeah.
We've got to get this kid to Silverhands. We got to get this kid to a doctor. Probably, what's up with her? We need a diagnosis. What's up with this kid?
Wait, like how old does she look?
About 6 or 7. Maybe.
Okay.
Like a baby.
Oh, okay.
I'm up at 5, so I'm getting off now.
Dude, Tempe's gonna
Bye.
Later.
Tempe's absolutely gonna wrap this kid up and wear him on his back like fucking Lone Wolf and Cub style.
Cute.
Get one of those harnesses with little foot straps so she can be like perched up.
1000%.
in red leather, matching red leather.
This kid's on my shoulders. We're marching. We can't make this kid walk for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you guys.
For 3 days, because we're going to Baldur's Gate.
It's going to be a really, really fun montage with all of us traveling with this little kid. All the shenanigans we're going to get into.
Oh, it's gonna be like the scene from Brother Bear.
Yes, exactly. And we have this bear dude now, so it'll be even more perfect.
Wait, do we? Or is he coming with us?
No, but
He's not coming with us, but he can help us through the wood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Balloon's gonna hang out with us while we go through the woods a little bit.
Look for the bare necessities.
If Ravi was not a child.
All right, I'm gonna hop off for you guys. I need to go figure.
Bye, Sean.
I should head out too.
Bye, Alman.
Guys.
I'll see you guys in the chat.
Definitely.
Yes. And then there are the
Always.
three, the usual suspects.
All right.
Usual
So
suspects.
how are we gonna ruin everyone else's time?
By the way, I got off that last. I closed the tabletop because I always when I log off and turn it over to y'all, I go downstairs and eat food stuff. I do all my stuff, and I was like, they probably think I'm like watching them because I'm not. Because I remember like the other night, I came back to like cut my lights off in my room,
And it was still going.
And you guys are still talking. I was like, damn, they're still going. And, like the volume is down. So I have no idea what you guys are talking about. But I'm like, damn, they're still on there. And so I was like, I should go over there and log out. And I was like, but then they'll know that I logged out. I was like, I gotta go. Hey guys, I'm not creeping. So I said, I turned the lights off. I left the computer on. I went in the room. I went to sleep. So just like I was late. I was like, I wonder when they're gonna log off.
We stayed up way too late.
It was
We
so
were up
late. It was
until
so
like
funny.
2.
It's
It was
so funny
bad.
because Cheryl was like, no, it's fine, it's fine. And I was like, Cheryl, I'm kind of tired. She was like, no, it's fine. And then I wake up actually feeling great, and Cheryl's the one who wakes up exhausted.
I'm sure.
I woke up, I felt like I was hungover. That was like my entire morning, was me just like feeling, I can't do it anymore. I used to be able to stay up until 2 a.m., but now I can't.
Oh, I
obviously.
just have insomnia, so I just stay awake.
I kind of do too. I'm trying to get used to it because I know this is going to be my life once the kids here. So I'm just getting used to just not sleeping and trying to like go to bed at 1 and still wake up at like 5. It's like
Just life of a
like,
parent.
That sounds awful. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, this was good. I didn't know how the next episode was gonna go. I was like, man, this is just like I have no clue.
I had no idea what the fuck.
I was getting so nervous there towards the end. I was like listening to Sean talk at one point. I was like tearing up, and I'm like, nope, she's not dead. She's not dead
I
yet.
was like,
Yet. Not until she's dead. Not until she's dead. I'm like sucking the tears back in. Like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh man.
When Malcolm was describing the Bahamut part of it, and I looked over at your face, and you were just like,
when he asked the question, it was like, oh man, because I think I had wrote it as a different question, and then I was like thinking about it, and I was like, I had like gone back a couple days ago. I was like, I always go back and like reread their like show's original backstory and all stuff. And I'm like, no, that's the question. He wouldn't ask this. He would ask, are you worthy of the shield? Because that was like the whole thing. And then it was like, you aren't, but you might, but you could be, right? It was, remember that was like and so I was like, okay, this is her turnaround moment. He asks again, are you ready? And I imagine that's probably be a recurring theme, if she's ever at some point ever meeting Bahamut. It's like, are you ready?
God, yeah. God, if that wasn't Bahamut from the get-go, that will fuck me up for a while. You don't need to tell me.
You'll eventually. No, I'm not gonna tell you because I want that to be a part of the journey at this point.
Because I mean, it's also something recently thinking about like the Oath of Redemption paladin. Because I even considered for a while there, like this past week, I was thinking about like multi-classing into like barbarian or something. But no, I didn't want to do that. That felt like I was capitulating to the thing I'm trying to fight. Because it's this struggle to stick to her guns is kind of an ongoing thing. But there's a show I really love, Leverage. Like renewed itself, added a new season recently called Leverage Redemption. But in like the first episode, one of the main characters kind of gives this speech to another guy where it's like, redemption isn't, especially in the Jewish faith, he's like, redemption isn't just a thing that you can kind of hit like a light switch. It's a thing you have to actively continue doing.
Yes.
It's never fulfilled. That's the point of redemption, is that there's never an end point. It keeps going. And I think that's where Demetria has to, I don't think she's at the point where she's accepted that yet, but I think that's the next, the easier hill for Demetria to climb right now, is accepting that redemption isn't a thing where she's going to be able to have a firm answer to that question, because it's always going to be a process. She's never, like, Illyria, forgave her. I don't think that forgiveness is enough. Demetria doesn't consider that done. Then there's still a debt she owes to the world for removing Illyria from it. You know, Illyria forgave her. All the people who could have benefited from Illyria being around haven't. So.
And I think the people like Kataya, like Cyan Wrath, like Tiamat is the ultimate version of the people that remind her that her past is always there, like right around the corner, like beckoning her to like kind of go backwards or to kind of backslide.
I think that's the thing that's kind of happened over the whole the whole series, really, the whole campaign so far has kind of been the realization. You know, I keep joking that we keep meeting people who want to use us.
Yeah,
that's kind of the only NPC we really have prolonged contact with, besides like Stigat. But you know, it is kind of a point where maybe Demetria was kind of delusional at the beginning about how this would go, this becoming a hero thing. She thought, you know, oh, I'll turn to the side of good and then I'll have all of these totally clean companions. But then it turns out that not all of them are, and I'll have all of these totally clean allies, and not all of them are, and it'll be easy, and there will be simple answers to all these questions, and then there aren't. And so it's this, I think definitely I had a simplified idea of what the redemption paladin would be at the beginning. And I think Demetria as a character was in that mindset, but that's changing, that's evolving as we get into the second season.
Yeah.
Which
You
I
guys
enjoy
make
a lot.
morally gray D&D fun. Some games you have to play people is just everything has to be good and bad. Like you have to just kind of stick
I
with it.
hate that. I hate that so much.
And sometimes you have to stick to because you just know like the party just runs off the rails and it just they don't have any direction with you even exploring it. So you just stick to your what you know that's going to help.
I think that's especially because with this group, with everyone coming out of Storm King's Thunder wanting to have like a character focused campaign, that we're all really interested in, you know, there's no black and white when it comes to people, because people will always have different perspectives and different desires. You know, what one person sees as the good ending for them is not going to be the good ending for people who are involved with them or who are watching them from a distance. So it's definitely, I think the fact that it's a character driven campaign so far has made that easy, has made playing around with gray D&D very easy. Easier than it would be otherwise.
Yeah. Because I think like for Robbie, if I was doing that good thing, it'd be like, it would just be like, listen, like trying to figure out something that is a lot more like, I need to help these people because I said that I would, and I, you know, like, I don't know, trying to figure out something with that, but getting to just be like, you know what, fuck you all. Like I've been on the other side of this. Like if you guys, if you would rather sit here and be cruel, then do whatever you want. I'm not going to put up with it anymore.
Yeah.
I did like, not that I like seeing Ravi go through this. I think that this little thing with this group is, because even from last session, I was like, oh, this little kid is Ravi. You know, it's another moment like with the Castellanter kids where Ravi is like able to really connect, because Ravi's in such a unique position, right? With the lycanthropy, with his background, with even just his age, kind of with all the, you know, circles that he runs in, where it feels like whenever Ravi can find an NPC that he can really personally empathize with or see himself in, that always feels like such a kind of needle in the haystack moment of like, oh, you know, here's this thing that I didn't think would happen, is another character that's like me, another person that's like me. But all of these interactions keep on not really panning out, or you know,
they're there.
The Castellanter kids, that happened. We saved the Castellanter kids in the end, but
they're there. It just depends on how you.
Two of them. We've saved two of them.
And so I mean, in 2 episodes he's met. I mean, I imagine like he's got this thing, Gumi, he's got this kid. So there, if anything, what I think it shares is that there are people who out there who are dealing with a particular situation like Robbie, but maybe in different ways, right? Like I think Gumi is not as, for him, he's like kind of fine being isolated, but then to him, this world is not isolation, right? He doesn't see it as being isolated from the world, but then he also has a lot to learn from Ravi. So I think it's like meeting other people who are experiencing what he's going through, but with these different perspectives has always been the goal. But I do agree with you, Charlotte. There's like, I haven't found that one that he like really latches onto that leads to kind of his next
Because
story.
it's kind of the
He's got Rin back in Waterdeep. He's got
it's like all of these NPCs that Ravi keeps meeting that keep reminding him of his past in some way. All of those situations end up shaking out where Ravi doesn't have enough authority or enough agency in the moment to actually do what he wished that someone with authority and with agency had done for him in the moment back then. Like it's I don't want to say it's ironic because I barely know what irony is. I'm an English major, I should know, but it feels ironic, right? Because in like a perfect, here's our neat little like 1-shot or 3-shot campaign, it would be, here, Ravi, here's an NPC that you can empathize with, and now here are all the perfect tools or the perfect opportunity for you to step into that role that you wished someone had done for you when you were this NPC. But all of these times that you've met these NPCs, there's been outside forces in this fucking campaign that keep not letting that work out, and it just feels like it's building to something. You know, I'm recognizing a pattern now.
The people, he's leading them, and then it's kind of robbed of being like that Moses in that moment. Cyan Rat takes it right back, right? People are constantly like giving him these things, and they know that he's losing them. So or he's losing these connections, or he has to walk away from them, or he can't really explore them because he has to go somewhere with the group. So
it's because we've talked before about how the kind of theme of this campaign so far has been that there's these overwhelming forces that we have to fight against that we're not always going to win against. It just sucks that, well, it doesn't suck, it's nice, it's thematically fitting that with Ravi it just keeps nudging him away from that climactic moment. Now we have this kid, so it is definitely an upstep from the Castellanters, because we did save the kid.
It's also different. Because even though, like, for example, we play Dragon Heist, even though I go with you all's flow, change things a lot, throw half the book out the window. For example, Storm King's Thunder is a perfect example. Is even though I'm throwing half the book out, when you come to the table expecting to play Storm King's Thunder, you expect it to all kind of focus on, to kind of play that story through. And with that, it keeps everybody on this kind of almost like vanilla task, where I think here I keep opening options to the world, and it's just like, which one do you, I get to the point where I don't even know which ones they're going to go after, like which ones are going to stick. It's like, you know, I kind of like throw the jacks on the board, and it's less about like, well, the book told me there should be 3 options. It's like, you all have it, there's 8. and then there's the 8 that you are creating that I haven't even created, that you are creating in game and being like, I think this is important, right? It's like I can be like, oh, look at the shiny thing, and you guys go, this is it.
Like,
right,
that's a red herring. Let's go with the dull thing. Clearly there's gold under there.
So this has been that campaign where I kind of follow those things, right?
You know what's interesting though, to contrast Storm King's Thunder, because one of the reasons I love Storm King's Thunder a lot, because there was always that time pressure that we imposed on ourselves.
Yeah.
But there was that time pressure that kept things moving, and everything felt urgent because we had like 24 hours, we had 3 days, we had a week, we had travel time, we had all these 3 years has already passed, so clearly we need to go.
Yeah.
But here it feels like those urgencies are kind of arising naturally out of the woodwork as we're confronting all of these other things. It's not that we wrote up in the sky, you know, 3 days and we'll return to fight whoever. It's just as things are kind of arriving, it's like, I don't think we should help out this bear guy, not only because we're going to die, but because we kind of have an urgent situation happening on the side here that needs to
like, you think about first. That 2 episodes, you guys are in Waterdeep, I bring Stigot's like, hey, that guy that, well, I mean, they'd have, Burfoot wasn't there anymore, but he's like, that guy Burfoot wants to kill. He went to this place, he's there. And everybody's like, we don't need that anymore. And then it's like, you know that mind flayer you've been talking about? I know exactly where that mind flayer is. And I know, you know that mind flayer has? It has that coin, that ruby, you know, this ruby that Amnon needs. And everybody was like, nah, but that thing in the sky, we got to go there first. Which I get it. I made it seem very, so it really is, at the same time, had you guys chosen to do that, the thing in the sky, it's still a time clock. It's still, that thing is like, it's not, unlike Storm King's Thunder, like you said, Cheryl, it's, that thing falling isn't going to necessarily end the world. It's just going to strengthen, maybe it strengthens the villains, or maybe things just don't play out the same way by the time you ever explore over there. But I think you're right, like these natural tensions are just building on their own towards whatever they're going to be, you know. But I do think this campaign's fun because they'll all be based on your actions, you know, not like some prescribed idea that this is supposed to happen here. Tiamat should show up here. They should kill them, or they should have to have this fight here. Yeah, it's fun. I'm enjoying it that way.
It's funny because it's also the fact that we're going to Baldur's Gate. I know I said before, but this campaign feels so much. This feels like, like the next game in the series where the tech has increased, so the size of the map is bigger.
Yes.
It feels like going from like Dragon Age 2 to Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yes.
We're on next gen consoles now, so we can have this big open world. Because the fact that we're going to Baldur's Gate and there's still so much plot to do. We only went to like 4 places in Storm Kings. Not like Plane of Air, Plane of Fire.
We literally just hopped around the planes.
Barely Baldur's Gate. Waterdeep the once, that one town we started in, Mirabar, like really like just a handful of places, but it feels like we're tagging all of these, like, let's just go to this other city and spend time there.
Well, with Storm King's Thunder at this point, we're basically wrapping up, right?
Yeah, like episode wise, hours wise.
Yeah. Because you were playing it fast and loose because that first half of the campaign was so many. We were introducing a new character every other game, maybe every 3 games. So it was supposed to be a campaign that's really just like a series of one-shots, right? Based on the way the characters travel, and that's where I had to break. And that is a campaign. Don't get me wrong. Storm King's Thunder, I think, is a campaign you could globetrot around and live in. I personally don't think. Going back, even I've reread the book. I don't think the story's that great. I don't think it's that that exciting. Sometimes when I look at some of the things that they were doing in the game, but overall, I did like the overarching story, and that's why I tried to stick with what's going on with King Hekaton and what's going on with Limerith and all that stuff was kind of cool. But sometimes the big campaign settings can kind of get lost in the weeds, and then some people say Storm King's Thunder is one of the best campaigns. Some people say it's not enough because they only give you little descriptions of all the places. But that's what being a DM is for. You're supposed to flesh out these places on your own. That's what Wiki's for. you can literally look at any place in Baldur's Gate and get like a 4 or 5 page paragraph on what the place is, and
It's weird because because with Storm King's Thunder we would get tastes of like these sort of larger world politicking moments, like when we were in Waterdeep and we were at Zelrune's party and there was that poker game going on where it turns out that what's his face is trying to move in on Waterdeep from Baldur's Gate, and that all these other places we were in, also the wider the giants, but it feels like here we're dealing with like the politics of Waterdeep, the politics of the politics of all these cultists, the politics of there's definitely these way more visible threads connecting groups and people kind of across anywhere we go here. That feels more tangible than in Storm Kings. Yeah,
and it's also me learning from past mistakes, learning from playing the game, learning from deciding to have a group that doesn't change a lot.
The familiarity of what we're going to be interested in, and
that's what I think it is. It's like, whereas other times you're just kind of reaching for what you think people are going to have fun with on a Wednesday. Whereas I know I can come here and make you guys cry for 3 hours and you'll still say that was a fun game. It's like everybody won't do that.
Because it was.
Please do.
Don't but do. Don't
please
but
do.
Please do. Not too much. I'm glad you guys got a happy day. And that's a good thing too. I see it. That's also another thing too. I was glad that Amnon was like, we got a happy ending, which means that it was probably too many like cliffhangers. And that's good to know that you kind of gotta let it breathe sometimes. Just,
This does feel like, because we do have kind of a tendency to at least break even, or at best break even with things so far this campaign. This does, and I don't want to like sell off Green Nest, because I do think that was kind of a failure, that they took the town, whether they're not going to burn it, whether they burn it or not. I consider that not our intention. We didn't get what we wanted there, but it doesn't feel like not getting that is going to, doesn't feel like not getting that is going to hurt us the way it feels like not getting other things before that we've wanted has just kind of stacked arrows in our enemies' quivers.
Between you and I, just our shit, like,
we're being recorded.
Getting we are still. That's current.